Good afternoon and welcome back to DR Sports for a Halloween special with myself, AGT, back in the hot seat this week. Big up to my bro Matty Renton for taking over last week. To my right, looking very scary indeed. Who is that? It's Fuad. How are you, fella? We've
Right,
also got...
Big clap on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Big clap for everyone. Keeping it quiet, just mean mugging. Love to see it. Making his debut on the show, James B, all the way from AFTV. How are you, fella?
Thank you. I'm good. I find your look creepier than Fuad's, actually. There's something very sinister about
Yeah,
yours,
I'm
don't
about
you?
to rob a bank after this. Yeah, man. And making his debut again on the show, we have Limahl, the West Ham fan, as Wolverine.
Yes.
How you doing, fella?
I'm good, man. It's hot out here.
It is
I'm
hot.
not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
And we've got a lot of hot games coming up. Welcome back to the Saturday Football Show.
Well, there you go. Welcome back to the Saturday Football Show with myself, AGT, on DR Sports. What an incredible array of guests we have. What an incredible lineups we have as well on the 3 o'clock kickoffs. If you're watching us, let us know where from. Get your comments in early. Big up to Ali A saying, big up AGT, my G. R Raz, big up James B, my G, and Sophia's Football Talk already. Loving the show. Love the Saturday Football Show, guys. Well, it's going to be a great show today. Trust me. We've got a lot of clips to play for you as well, including some of the AFTV fellas going to a, what was it? A scary haunted house? Right, Scream Park.
Yeah. That kind of haunted vibe, sort of. No, actually, I want to be. It's not a haunted house. Haunted house when people actually think it's a haunted house. This is obviously very, very good actors who are great at what they're doing. At what they do. You walk through for about 10 minutes, and they try and shut you up, and that's what they did.
Well, yeah, we'll be getting a clip of that later on. We've also got a couple of bits from Best of Enemies to show you as well. We have just witnessed the first game in the Premier League this weekend. An incredible goal, really. 25-yard free kick that goes right into the top bins off the post from Kevin De Bruyne, which takes Man City 1 point behind Arsenal. We all watched the game. Let's talk about it. Limahl, we watched it the second half together.
Yeah.
Not the most entertaining game ever, was it?
Dead game. Yeah, dead game. Yeah, I don't know if they was tired. Maybe 12:30 kickoff. Just getting out of bed. I don't know what it was, but it was just it was a bit stagnant. Do you know what? I think Leicester held it well though, because I think it was hard for them to break them down. Eventually, the free kick was just a joke. There's no way you're saving that.
Yeah.
Just quality from De Bruyne, and I think it's evident that they miss Haaland today up front.
Yeah, Alvarez goes off after what was a really good opportunity for him to nail down and maybe a starting position whilst Haaland's injured. But James, did they miss him that much in the end?
Well, Haaland, I mean, the thing is, I do think, even though I've tried to look at the numbers, because you know me, I always enjoy the numbers, and I'm trying to find any kind of data that suggests they're changing their play, Man City, to adapt to the fact they've got Haaland, someone who's more direct, someone who's more physical presence. And really, there's not a lot, but just something on the eye just tells me they're not quite as fluid or quite as electric, but they're much more efficient. Like that ball, their opening goal against Brighton the other day was Edison from one end of the pitch to the other, and Haaland just powers through and scores. Maybe they lack that little bit of kind of defining quality in the final third, but they were comfortably the winners. It wasn't really till the 70th minute that Leicester thought would change the shape up slightly, and I thought Daka and Iheanacho had an impact, but in the end, fairly comfortable City. Did they get out of third gear, really? I don't know.
Did they have to, Fuad? You saw the goal. That was enough to win the game, enough to win any game, really. But did they really have to apply much pressure today? Leicester huffed and puffed, though, didn't they?
They did, but I think everyone was kind of expecting City to still be able to push them over. And I think maybe the scoreline people were expecting a little bit bigger. But I think with 12:30 kickoffs, I've always said players wake up with cobwebs in their eyes. They're never high-scoring games. And I think City, James touched on there, they've been more of I don't want to say route one team, but the key players get the ball and they straight away is look to Haaland type of thing. How quickly can we kind of activate them? And today was the first day where we kind of see without them, but look who steps up again, Kevin De Bruyne. And I've said many a times before, I feel like he's making his case to be the greatest midfielder in Premier League history, just stronger and stronger.
100%.
And the thing is I don't see him kind of fading away anytime soon. But you look at just the highlight reel they were showing us there, where he's even in a game where we're saying City aren't doing much, he's still creating everything. He's still the string puller. And they've signed Haaland, they've signed Grealish, they've spent money around the team, but he's still a cut above everyone. And I don't know when we start kind of having a conversation of, is he the greatest?
He's been there for 8 years now.
100%.
I think that's...
You look at consistency, you look at longevity,
yeah.
you look at team honours, you look at individual honours, you look at individual impact within that team, you look at numbers, goals, assists. He's surpassed Gerrard for assists, if I'm not mistaken, in way less games. He's almost reaching Lampard levels. Well, Lampard levels for goals is another level. It's almost like striker level. But I feel like for a midfielder, he puts up great numbers consistently. And I don't know. In my opinion, I've said I have him number 1. And it's a case of the case just keeps getting stronger because I don't see him fading away. But where do you lot have him? Do you lot think at this point now we're getting to the point where it's becoming undisputed?
Certified top 5, cemented. And then it's the top 3 discussion. Top 2. Is he not even 2?
It's always the question, though. It's always the question is like, if you don't want to put him top 1, who's above him and why?
This is
like, if you don't have a decent argument for who's better than him, then I feel like...
The only knock people can have against him is the Champions League. And I feel like, can you knock a player for a team honour? And I look at in the Champions League, who has been Europe's best player in City, best player in Europe. They've had Yaya Toure, Aguero, all these great Silva. He's done better than all of them for City when it comes to Europe. He's probably taken them the furthest as well when he's been in the team against that Chelsea final. And then he got knocked out by Rudiger, of course, and you saw what that turned out like. But I think he is just underrated. And he's truly one of those players, I think, as well, not just for this era. I think even if you take him out and put him 10, 15 years ago, he's still one of the top players in the world. I think he transcends era as well, in my opinion.
I'm with you. In an era now where we try and define midfielders so much, even to the point where you can't even say someone's a number 10. It's, well, are they a shadow striker?
Yeah.
Do they get in the box? Or are they a creator? Are they a playmaker? This guy's been able to do a box-to-box role / creative role / he can do a job from out wide. He can do a job as a goal scorer. He's done all these things, which is why I agree with you. You could put him in kind of any era and he would have the tools to deliver.
Same impact.
And he's a weird player that's kind of, he wasn't there with that like real original core of City players of David Silva, Toure, Company, Aguero. I think he came kind of 3 years after, maybe, but around 3 years after. And so he's not seen as kind of like, when people are rattling off the names for statues outside the Etihad, he's not one of the first mentioned because he's still playing. Yeah. But then he's also coming at a time where couple of years, then Pep arrived, and it kind of just became the norm. Oh, yeah, there you go, De Bruyne is doing what he's doing. So we never actually really stopped to be able to actually recognise quite how incredible he is because there's always been another narrative around City or people before him. But I'm with you. I think he's the best. I think he probably is the best midfielder, Premier League midfielder we've ever seen. I do put him in that category.
Massive shout there. Let us know in the comments if you agree. Maybe we put a poll up. And if he's not number 1, who is? We've got some people in the comments. James has turned up in his pyjamas this morning, but I'm
a bit of a liar.
Good, mate. Still, Trav Varelli says he's second. Let us know who you think is first. Then Fernandez Magnifico Scholes is clear of KDB. He also says that Bruno is clear of KDB. His first season is clear of anything that. De Bruyne can do or can be done. So interesting opinions all round. I agree. Who gave the comparison to Bergkamp? I think that's maybe a little bit of a different position there. But it was some goal, some finish really to win the game, and they go back to the top now. I made a mistake earlier. They are top now. At 1 point ahead of Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan, obviously you were hoping Leicester could win today, but I guess this puts a little bit more pressure now on Arsenal tomorrow at home to Forest.
But this is exactly why as Arsenal fans we are a little hesitant to talk. We talk about the title race because how can you not when you've been sitting top for quite a while now? But it's why there's a degree of we're holding back a little bit. We're not saying that that's what we're expecting or that's necessarily the target for the season. Of course, you aspire to do the best you can. But, look at Man City. They've turned up. Haaland didn't play. Why? Oh, because he was tired. Guardiola's always tired. So
I did see him limping as well, though.
Oh, I thought I saw a quote saying he was tired. Well, let us know in the comments. I thought he mentioned something about tiredness. He said he looked a bit, look at him talking to Maddison, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. That's an extended chat from Pep Guardiola and James Maddison, still on the pitch at full time. This is almost, we've been watching this now for a good 45 seconds to a minute. A lot of hugs, a lot of laughing, a lot of pushing around, as Pep likes to do.
Pep's taking the piss,
What do you
man.
make of that, Limahl?
He's taking the piss. He don't even wear a suit anymore. Look at him.
That's exactly it, man. That's
He's just-
exactly it.
bro,
He's turned up. He's gone, oh, we don't need Haaland. Diaz, you're all right on the bench, aren't you? We'll bring you on when you fancy it. I'll just chuck on a hoodie and some jeans.
Disrespectful.
We'll collect the 3 points. Good luck to Arsenal.
He
Like,
did-
it's not, it's. I don't know how you dealt with it as a Liverpool fan. They're just, and the fact that this is why when people do this whole, oh, Klopp only won a Champions League and a Premier League with the super team. I'm like, look at the point tallies. Look at the amount of finals. Like, he got to the very, very brink. In fact, he got to that level. Like, that's indisputable. City have just been on another planet. You win 3 titles normally in a normal era of football. But what Guardiola and City are doing is incredible. So I'm trying to, if we're within a couple points of them, whether it be a couple points ahead or a couple points behind in March, then I'll actually start getting excited because we've clearly done something right to that point. But it's still very early, and we're riding a good wave, but they're unbelievable.
Looking at the Leicester side, they've had a little bit of an upturn in form. If you are a Leicester fan, if you're Brendan Rodgers, what do you make, Fuad, of that chat at the end of the game there, if you watch that back? Would you be happy with that as a fan or the manager of James Maddison?
To be fair, I don't think at this point anyone reads too much into that. I think we've seen Pep do these theatrics after he kind of wins a game. I think we've seen it with Kimmich. We saw it with Redmond. I remember one time it was vigorously, and I'm like, we saw it with Grealish when he was at Villa. Like, this is a typical.
All about?
I have no clue, and I think he was trying to say Redmond. Had he been braver, he could have caused more of a threat. It's almost like Pep wants you to bring your A game. So he's probably in there telling Maddison there were certain holes Rodri left behind. You could have picked up, and I'm like, you're so arrogant. You're actually giving notes to the opposition how you could be better. I'm like, it's another level. The thing is, you have to respect it though. He's taken the game to this level where even the players, I'm sure Maddison will love this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He'll be liking and retweeting everything that says, hey, look, Pep's put his arm around him, and he might be going City now. Brother, you seen what happened to Grealish? Take note.
Well, actually, if you look at the
always
stats,
pretty.
right, since the start of the 1920 season, James Maddison is the midfielder with the most goal contributions, and that's ahead of Foden, Grealish, etc.
Wow.
Do you think, James, can he force his way into that England squad, which is only really 3 weeks away from being decided, and 2, these numbers, are people ignoring them?
What, Grealish?
No, for Maddison.
Oh, sorry, I was distracted by the comment section. It's good for my debut. With Maddison, I think he's a class player. I don't really know why he's been overlooked so much. Was there some incident where he wasn't he meant to be in the squad and then he pulled out and then he was spotted somewhere?
Got his first call up, and I think he got caught partying or something like that.
Yeah.
And Southgate banished him, Foden. I think it was the unspoken man of Man United.
Oh yeah.
And I think they all got sent home. But he was the one that never, ever got the call back, basically. And I think in a similar sense of like Grealish, where Grealish really had to earn his stripes, I think he looks at those types of number 10 players where he's like, do I really need you in my system? Because he plays with the 2 kind of battle midfielders, those guys like Grealish, like Maddison, they have to, or Foden, they have to be able to adapt to play out wide.
Yeah,
I think he looks at Maddison and he thinks, can you really play out wide? And then he looks at his wide options with Sancho, Sterling, Rashford, and all these guys, and he's like, I'm stacked. I've even got Mount who's able to play out wide there. I don't really need Maddison. And I think Maddison this year, he's been brilliant, this calendar year. But prior to this year, I think he had about 12 months where he was pretty quiet and didn't really earn a spot in the England team.
Speak for himself.
Is it too
This
little,
is- this
too
is
late?
the last
though?
2.5 years.
Considering-
He had it last season,
Considering
well.
Southgate, we know, has his loyalists, the Shaws, the Maguires. They're going to get in regardless of their form.
This is what I'm saying.
Now, all of a sudden, when you've got a little bit of a purple patch, we've seen him give debuts like Conor Gallagher and stuff like that. But I feel like if he really wanted to use Maddison for the World Cup, he would have been called up by now.
I think Maddison's got to go. He won't. I don't think he will. But I would personally 100% be taking him because you've got a player there who can score from free kicks. He's got that ability. You know when a midfielder just picks up that bit of pocket of space, kind of, whether it be wide right or whatever, and they whip that dangerous ball into the box. Yeah, and it just causes havoc. Trent does it brilliantly. We know De Bruyne has got that in his locker. And I'm sure other players can do it, but he just has this knack for kind of knowing where the space is going to open up and where you can create chances. And I really like him. Listen, I've wanted him at Arsenal for a long time.
There's 3 clubs, I think, that could use him so perfectly as well.
Arsenal, Tottenham.
Arsenal, Tottenham, you can say, I don't even think you lot to an extent. You don't have Odegaard. It's almost like overcrowded. You've got Emma Smith.
see what we're
have
up
the golden
against?
boy, Emma Smith Rowe, as well.
Yeah, but
You see how they just dished him to the side nowadays? They've forgotten
Yeah,
about him. But when him and
different
Saka were
player.
coming through, it was,
Yeah.
hey, Len boys.
Smith
Now,
Rowe-
now let's get Maddison in.
Saka,
I'm watching you lot. I'm watching you lot.
Smith Rowe's more of a Grealish, and have you seen what they've got? You seen what we need to keep
For
up?
me, I think
Give me Maddison.
Spurs, I will definitely agree. I
Yeah.
think Chelsea is another one. I think Chelsea need that kind of creative
Mason
midfield.
Mount?
They don't have that profile. I feel like Mason Mount is him and Mason Mount together with maybe a Jorginho sitter behind. I think could work. But I think Spurs, Chelsea, and then be the franchise player for Newcastle, of course.
The Newcastle
Those are
one
the three
is,
I think
yeah,
make
valid.
the most sense in my eyes. Spurs, you take them up that extra level. Chelsea, you go and become the main man at a bigger team, I feel like. And Newcastle, you become the face of basically a transition era.
The
So-
City, if anything.
Too much.
James Toon, a regular guest on the show, says Maddison is just a poor man's Jack Harrison.
We're all thinking it.
Everyone's
Wow.
thinking it.
Wow.
Apart from, it's just James thinking it, actually. Not you, James Toon. Yeah, incredible result that for City. They go back to the top. Leicester remain in 17th on 11 points. As we said, huffed and puffed today, just couldn't get that equaliser. Lack of quality in the final third. Let's look at the 3 o'clock kickoffs. 10 minutes now until those games kick off. It's Bournemouth at home to Tottenham. Can they bounce back after 2 losses in a row? This could be the 3rd loss in a row, which would only be the 2nd time it's happened under Conte at Spurs. A year in charge now. Just quickly before we move on, I asked Abby the same yesterday. How would you sum up his year so far at Tottenham?
Personally, I've enjoyed it. I feel like we've had a bit of identity, a bit of direction. There have been moments of optimism where I've thought, do you know what, we might be turning over a page and moving in the right direction with the right man in charge, in my eyes. So for me, I think it's a case of, can we equip him with the tools to kind of succeed quick enough? Because obviously his contract runs out at the end of this year. But for me, I've enjoyed it, and personally, I'm hoping for more of it. I know some fans lately this season have been complaining about the style of football or whatever, but I say look at the past 3 or 4 managers. They've all kind of fell victim to the same thing. So at some point, you kind of have to look at the tools you're providing every manager and say, do you know what? Maybe it's something here. And listen, we've made a few signings over the summer and in January, but as I've said many times, even on this show, I think the last time I was here was the transfer round where I said we've done quantity over quality in my eyes. And I feel like over the first 10 games or so, now people can kind of see where I was coming from with that. When I was saying we might not qualify for top 4, and people were looking at me, Spurs, what do you mean? And I was like, now you're starting to see a little bit of that. And it always takes a little bit of time to see it, but I've enjoyed the year under Conte, I'll be honest with you. I just hope we can kind of give him enough to at least sign a new deal, do you know what I mean?
Can I ask, Fuad, is the style of play, as a Tottenham fan who watches week in, week out, you, not me, before people start.
Yeah.
Do you think Conte comes away from a lot of those performances and himself is disappointed? Forget the result. Like, I'm trying to. Okay, you're actually quite good against Everton, but there have been a few wins. Do you think he walks away and goes, "I'm not happy with that,"
Yeah.
or does he come away and go, "Brilliant, that was the plan. Hard
No.
to beat, got a couple goals."
And I think even with Jose, this is what I used to say. I think there's some managers, Steve Bruce or something, who might, Tony Pulis, who might set out their team to intentionally play ugly.
Sure.
But I felt like with Jose and Conte, they have specific systems, specific presses, specific playing styles where they want their teams to be efficient. It's
Yeah.
not about being fancy, and I
You're
think
right,
back end of last season we saw that when the wing backs were good, when the front 3 are firing on all cylinders, when the midfield is effective, his team looks like free flowing and they can attack, but they're also solid at the back. But then the minute the wing backs aren't as effective with their crosses, the midfielders can't create the forward line. All of a sudden, Kulusevski's injured, Son's form is iffy, Richarlison's injured, Kane is the only one standing. So it's a case of the system isn't really clicking at, and it looks disjointed, and that's what you're kind of getting. So when you play these kind of very specific systems, it has to go, and you have to have the right pieces in place, and we don't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Going into the 3 o'clock kickoff, Bournemouth-Tottenham, we've got the teams in here. Travers in goal for Bournemouth, Zamora at right back, Meffin, Sensei and Smith at the back with Cook, Lerma, Moore, Billing, who's having a really good season, Tavernier and Dominic Solanke, who's also scoring a few goals again in the Premier League. For Tottenham, Hugo Lloris still remains in goal. Davison Sanchez, Longley, Davis. We've unfortunately got Emerson Royale at right wing back, and Fuad isn't happy, as you can see,
Massaging your head, Fuad.
massaging his
He's
head.
stressed out.
On that right hand side, looking very light there for Tottenham with Sanchez and Emerson Royale. In the middle, Skip, Bissouma, Højbjerg, Sessegnon with Kane and Son up front. It looks like a 3-5-2.
What a lineup.
Fuad doesn't look happy with this news at all in the slightest. What's your reaction to that?
Bruv, I just heard the first 6 names and my brain just tightened up there. My chest felt... Bruv, I'm getting ready to watch some slog because that backline does not fill me with confidence at all. And I'm talking playing against Bournemouth. We're talking Lloris. I've always said, he gets this longevity blight where he'll have this month or two within the season where he's disastrous. But because he's been here for 10 years, we're not allowed to criticise him. I've always said I think we need to freshen it up. You look at a back three of Davinson Sanchez, Ben Davies, and Lenglet. You tell me what other Champions League team in Europe is rolling out with his back three.
It's not great.
Probably
They
can't
wouldn't
do
even
that,
have that on bench, most of them. And then I'm being told my wing back, my width providers, the key to Conte's wing back system are Emerson Royale and Ryan Sessegnon.
Sorry.
Well, he doesn't look
Listen,
happy.
Do you
In the
know why?
slightest there.
After all this, I'm going to laugh now while I can because you're going to win. Ultimately, you're going to find a way to win.
this is
So I'll look silly. So I'm just going to enjoy this while I can. I'm with you. It is such an uninspiring 11. And I know his thing is like he raises the level of players that aren't that good. I get that. But there's not even, I can't even point to a balance. This is something that Matisse and I talked about in Talking Tactics. Go check it out on DR Sports, wherever the camera is.
Love that. Great show.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. We were comparing, and I appreciate that Conte's Chelsea when he won the league, right? But forget actually the quality of those players. There was a balance in the 11. You had David Luiz who could step into midfield and play. You had Kante who was more box to box and was the energy. And you had Matic who had energy but could play as well, could set the tempo. Fabregas could come in as a completely different midfielder if they needed it. And Hazard and Pedro, they could do damage from wide, but they could get into the pockets and be 10s. There was this complete fluidity. I think the only one in this Tottenham team who could kind of go into that Chelsea team and keep everything ticking is Kane. Kane's the only one who could come in and a bit like Diego Costa could drop it. I mean, Costa was also they're different, but you get what I mean. Kane's got that complete package. And so it's not even just about quality. That's one thing. There's a lack of profile. There's a lack of balance to that Tottenham team. They might win because they'll always give hard work and give their all for content, all that, but I'm not expecting them to go blow Bournemouth off the park.
And for me, I think that's my biggest concern has always been is how long can we rely on the Conte will raise the player, the standards of these average. We did that with Jose, and we did that with Conte now. It's like, no, at some point, this is why we can't take gambles on a Jed Spence from the Championship and hope he adapts. No, give him a quality player, the same way you gave Perisic on that side, which you got on a 34-year-old. It's not something to be proud about, but it's guaranteed quality. Do the same thing on the right-hand side, and I just feel like that's where the balance is missing, to be honest, Do
you think you deserve to be a top 4 team?
In all honesty, not the way we've handled the window, I don't think we did. I think you look at the way Chelsea, United, and Arsenal addressed their issues, they moved more forward. I felt like with us, we looked at it, had the best money we've ever had, the best manager we've ever had, and Champions League football. And I don't think we fully utilised that enough to say we deserve to be here again next year.
I still don't write you off.
Nah,
As much as I had a good laugh at that 11.
Because remember last year, January was the real turning point for us. And I'm hoping this year it can be the same, to be fair.
Well, there's Fuad's reaction to that Tottenham 11. Brentford playing at home against Wolves. They've gone with Raya in goal, who has made the provisional Spain World Cup squad of 55 players. And David De Gea hasn't. So he won't be going to the World Cup as a Spanish goalkeeper. Aya right back, which is interesting considering he normally plays in the middle. Ben Mee, Pinnock and Henry. De Silva, Janelt and Jensen in the middle with Mbuemo, Tony and Wissa up front for Brighton. And then Wolves line up Jose Sarr in goal, Nelson Semedo, Collins, Kilman, Bueno. Left back, Traore and Neves. That's not Adama Traore. He also plays, though, on the right wing with Mateus Nunes, Podence, and Diego Costa. Still looking for his first goal on his Premier League return. That's not you think the score's going to be here. We've also done all of our predictions, have we?
Got them written down,
for the scores, which we will reveal at the end of the show. Loser has to do a chili. That's just the rule of the show.
Oh, do we reveal
Wait,
them at
hang
the
on.
end?
That,
We revealed them at the end.
Oh, nice.
So there's no cheating. So make sure you get them
Oh,
down.
so I can just change it.
in the
Nice.
next 3 minutes. Before they
right.
kick
So
off.
that's
wait.
great.
So the chili thing wasn't discussed before.
Well, this is the kind of
the
it's
show,
Halloween
innit?
week, isn't it? So
Okay, mad
But yeah,
thing.
it's
there's a
Halloween.
few extra
week, so
surprises.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what it
obviously.
means.
So
That's what it
die.
equals.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Brighton at home to Chelsea in the Graham Potter derby. Sanchez in goal, Jesse Marsh, Webster Dunk, and Estupinian at left back in
Did
the
you say
defence.
Jesse Marsh?
Sorry, what's his name again?
Solly Marsh.
Solly Marsh.
But I mean,
There you
imagine
go.
Jesse Marsh after losing his
right
job
back
at
for
Leeds.
Brighton.
Just thought, I'm coming up for Brighton at right
Fancy
back.
playing
Why
again.
not?
I
Fair
fancy
play.
playing soccer again. Caicedo and Alexis McAllister, one of the frequently mentioned names on this show, Alexis McAllister. Brilliant player, brilliant name, brilliant story. Pascal Gross, Adam, Lallana, Mitoma and Trossard up top through the middle. Billy Gilmore still not really nailing down a place in that Brighton team that are playing. Well, they have had a decent season. They haven't won in a few. But when you see Lamptey on the bench as well, I mean, what's happened to him? I thought he was a shoo-in at right back for Brighton.
I don't think he has been for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of with
Injuries.
you. If someone asked me, if I started Football Manager tomorrow with Brighton, Lamptey's
He's
in
a
my
right
team,
back,
but,
yeah.
But I know what you mean. I think it's been a while since he's been a bit, regular in that team. So I'm not sure. Does he? I'm just asking the question. Does he lack something defensively? I only say that because he was so praised for what he did going forward. I saw him come on at the Emirates for Chelsea when he was a youngster under Lampard, and he was incredible. He came with, oh my word, they've got the next, there's Reece James just come through, they've got the next one, and then there was Tino Livramento as well. So they know how to produce a right back, Chelsea, for sure. But I imagine he'll get his place back. Especially, it looks like today it's going to be a back four. But if they play a back three, then I'm sure he'll get his place at some point.
Chelsea line up with Arrizabalaga still in goal. Still Mendy sitting on the bench. He's clearly the number one choice, Arrizabalaga, for Potter at the minute. Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Cucurella in a back three. And this is really interesting. They've gone with Sterling as a right wing back and Conor Gallagher as a left wing back.
Sorry.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen a lineup like
Can
it
I
for
make
Chelsea.
a prediction? Well,
Go.
so I'll let you read it
Loftus-Cheek,
out.
Kovacic in the middle. Again, I don't think that midfield has ever played with each other, with Mount and Pulisic behind Havertz. And then on the bench, Jorginho, Aubameyang, Broja, Chilwell, Ziyech, Azpilicueta and more. Very, very strange lineup for Chelsea.
I think this might be Potter's 3-3-2 that we saw a little bit at Brighton, and where actually it'll be Pulisic on the left wing, Sterling on the right wing. They'll be the widest players, and it might be more Gallagher, Kovacic, and Loftus-Cheek in midfield. I'd be amazed if he's not surely using Gallagher as a left wing back.
I'm sorry, man. These formations are getting out of control. They're becoming Pro Evolution-esque, where guys are just. I get Chelsea have these players that can play in multiple roles. You see Loftus-Cheek at wing back one week. This is too much mix and match.
When it's 3-0 on FIFA, you got to try a thing. This is what it feels like.
I'm curious to see how it looks on the pitch, but this is the kind of stuff that I think sometimes where I just feel like managers are overcooking it a little bit. Just find something simple. The players will
It's a
even
big
understand.
squad. It's a massive squad at Chelsea. He's got to use all of them, and obviously, if you're Mendy on the bench, you're hoping for a slip-up maybe from Kepa in goal as well.
Bro,
Crystal Palace plays Southampton, and that has kicked off. All the 3 o'clock games have now kicked off, guys. We'll bring you every goal as it goes in, not only from the Premier League, the Championship, League 1, League 2, if they're a decent game, and around Europe, where Bayern Munich are now 2-0 up at home to Mainz. Jamal Musiala with a second goal in the 28th minute. But Palace go with Guaita in goal, Joel Ward, Anderson, Gueye and Mitchell. That's pretty much been their back five the whole season. Milivojevic in the Milivojevic, that's how you say it. Thank you. In the midfield, he's the captain with Elise, Schlupp, Eze, Zaha, all behind Edouard. That is an attacking lineup, James.
Yeah, and it's actually slightly less attacking than what we've seen in recent weeks with Eze and Elise in central midfield and Ayew on the wing. So slightly more sensible from Vieira. Listen, I love that he's got these really exciting players and he wants to get them all in the team. But you've got to have that bit of balance. I think Schlupp does provide that. I really like Palace. I really like the players they've got. I really like what they've been trying to do.
And lining up against them for Southampton, Bazunu in goal, Lianco at right back with Kaleta Carr in the middle with Salisu, Perot at left back, El Yanusi, Ward-Prowse, Diallo, Stuart Armstrong with Che Adams and Joe Aribo up top for the Saints, who definitely need a big win
Salty Arsenal fans wishing for nothing but a nightmare for Lianco at right back against Zaha.
Yes, after last week, for sure. Newcastle Villa, really looking forward to this game as well. Villa's new manager bounce, will it work against the team that really have been, in my opinion, maybe the standout team so far? I know that's a rogue shout, but Newcastle have really impressed me. Pope in goal, Trippier, Shah, who's just played his 100th league game for Newcastle, really underrated centre-back with Sven Botman and Dan Burn. A really incredible balance there of every type of player in that defence. You've got height, you've got technicality with Trippier as well. In the midfield, Sean Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Willock with Almiron, the new Messi, it seems like, with Callum Wilson and Joel Linton also starting for the Mags. But then for Aston Villa, they go with Martinez in goal, Cash at right back, Konza, Mings and Young at left back, then Donker, Douglas Luiz with Watkins, Buendia, Leon Bailey and Danny Ings. Do you think, James, this new formation of a 4-2-3-1 is something that if Gerrard used it, he might still be in the job?
Do you know, I don't think it was anything to do with systems of Gerrard.
No Coutinho
I
on the
just
bench.
have a feeling it was more to do with his approach. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. You better off asking Villa fans. But my impression from the outside is that maybe there was something between the players and the manager. But that 11, you know, again, talked about talking tactics. Keep it very simple. Put Buendia as a 10 in the number 10. Go for two holding midfielders because you're not necessarily leaking goals, but you're not getting control in games. You know, it's just a sensible team. Leon Bailey's come back in. You've got two goal scorers in Watkins and Ings. Yeah, I think Newcastle will win comfortably. Obviously, we're not really revealing our predictions yet, but you know, Villa I think will improve.
I think at some point though, we do have to look at the Villa players and say, Buendia, you were a record signing. Bailey, I understand you've had injuries, but even when he's played, he's been kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, Watkins has been poor.
Watkins, Danny Ings has been very hit and miss.
Last week. He might be
2
back.
goals last week, but last season, where was he?
Yeah.
Like, start of the season. And for me, I just feel like a lot of these players, Tyrone Mings, you're meant to be the captain. He's been arguably their worst player for the past 18 months. So I think as much as these players have been able to kind of hide behind Gerrard and use him as an excuse for their misperformances, Coutinho, you were meant to be the gem signing that all the big teams missed out on, and look, Villa snatched him. No, he's looked like a Villa standard player. So now I'm curious to see how they react. And against a team like Newcastle, who are well-drilled,
There's been a goal for Brighton at home to Chelsea. Boom! It's 1-0 to the Seagulls. An incredible start, only 3 minutes in.
Here we go.
And Graham Potter
Here we go.
is behind at the Amex against his old team. And of course, it's Leandro Trossard
What a player.
with the goal. So many good words spoken about this guy. He really is standing out, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think he's been quite good since he arrived, really, but he's only got better and better. You can see that there's quality there. He's got the goal, and I'm delighted. But he's came big goals, you know. He scored against
Hat-trick against Liverpool, yeah.
A goal at the Etihad, a goal against Chelsea. What's wrong?
Are we keeping poker faces like as we did the predictions? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, calm. Calm.
Poker face.
I'm upset.
Yeah, you'll
bro.
learn.
Like, this is why it's dead formation. This is what happens.
This is in my...
Good luck.
I'm on
Oh
course.
my.
I'm still
on
on
course.
track.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on course. Thank you very much, Leandro.
I'm going out after this. I can't eat chilies like that, man. Like, honestly.
Oh, you better
Listen,
hope
plenty
that
of scores
Chelsea
still to
score.
come.
Club toilets aren't that nice.
No,
He's a-
absolutely. A lot goes down in there.
Good player, Trossard, though.
Yeah, a great goal for Brighton.
And everyone in the comments was saying that they could have been 2-0 up before. I saw the comments coming in, people saying Brighton have been in control.
Chelsea getting cooked, says Fernandez Magnifico. This Thiago Silva is a top defender. Well, he's 1-0 down at the minute. Chelsea, as we said, getting cooked very early on. His old team cooked him, says Fernandez. And Trossard class, says Alec Johnson. What a start. And Potter now, I mean, it's only 5 minutes in. It's very early, a long time to go. But that noise from the fans, it's going to pick the players up. They're going to want to put one in on their old manager, who Chelsea actually paid 22 million to get hold of. It's going to be a difficult or potentially a long afternoon for Chelsea now.
He's a clever guy. He'll bounce back. He better.
Look at him. You're stressed about these predictions.
It's not over yet, though, for me.
Of course it's not. We're 5 minutes in.
Personally, it's not over yet.
Yeah, but Brighton needs something because actually, I think there's been some credit to the way Brighton have played under De Zerbi. So at the Etihad they played well, but they haven't been
losing every time.
Yeah. And
Apparently, Mark Cucurella getting a really serious booing from the crowd after obviously leaving Brighton at the end of the season, where he was player of the season. But these are the kind of things that, you go back, you've got Cucurella there, you've got Potter. They are going to wind the fan base up.
You know what, you're
it's
right.
going to be a difficult day.
You're right,
It
they lost
really
at Brentford as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they lost at home to Tottenham,
Yeah.
they drew at Liverpool. This has not been the easiest start.
They've been playing well, but they've been getting battered everywhere they go. No pun intended.
Is that coming from a Tottenham fan?
Just a quick one on the Leicester-Man City game. Pep Guardiola said that when they attacked more, it was a game they decided they could play like we could play, and they couldn't adjust. It's important not to get frustrated when you have problems to attack, because it is so difficult. It was really complicated. A lot of credit to Leicester for what they have done, but we did not get frustrated. What do you make of that?
Guardiola's a liar, man. Look at this comment. We had to suffer. And did you see when the full-time whistle went? He was doing the whole, what a workout.
You know what, that annoys me,
You liar! Like you were fine.
You know in school, when someone's smart and they do a test, they're like, "Hey, that was hard."
Yeah.
And they come back, it's like, but A star though.
Yeah.
Like this is what I mean.
Yeah.
This is Pep.
Yeah.
Like you didn't, big man. You're in a hoodie. Like you don't care about this game.
He's in a hoodie and jeans. He's like, that was what a workout.
I watched the thing. They were just slowly moving the ball about. It was calm.
Aguero, we cannot replace him. What was it? A year later, sorry.
Haaland.
Erling, you don't mind a couple of years with us, do you?
Pep plays his mind games, man. He said about De Bruyne. He was saying about how I don't think he's at like full gear yet, like top gear yet. It's like, bro, come on now.
Well, and if he's not, that's worrying.
No, exactly. What does he play like if he is?
Shola in the comments saying, I don't think the Brighton fans like Potter. Remember when he told them to pipe down about the team performance? No love lost. From Shola.
I do remember that, actually. Back in the last season, innit, when results are going out the window. And he said, hey, remember where I picked you up from, yeah? And it's like, It's not usual you see a manager have that kind of attitude towards the fans. But personally, I liked it. I was like, it shows a little bit of, listen, do remember, please, where I brought you from. And Brighton do have to say, they are in a much better position now than when they were under Chris Hughton. Do you know what I mean? People forget those days where they were constantly fighting relegation. Now they're seen as like, European outsiders maybe.
And they weren't good to watch either.
Trust me. Now they're one of the more enjoyable teams, if you like.
Yeah, massively. A lot of it's down to Potter. And I remember that. They went through a string of just, might have been like a couple months where they were really struggling for goals. But the football was there.
It was always, they were always XG FC, weren't they?
Yes.
Like they created the chances, but it was whether it's Morpay, Welbeck, who was the big fella before that? Forget his name.
No, I know the one you mean.
Glenn Murray.
Yes.
But he used to chip in with like a nice 10 or 12, but you're thinking, if they had a real killer 9, they could do more. And I always felt like they were missing that. And listen, Brighton, now they don't have Potter. We'll see where they are. But this is the type of game for me where I think they'll be well up for it. And boy, Chelsea, I hope they come ready.
How long
Jonas Smith in the comments saying Spurs apparently struggling.
Not really.
Keep talking to me.
At Bournemouth. And seeing as it is Halloween weekend, we thought we'd give you a topic that runs throughout the show. And this week it is scary sights in football. Obviously, we've taken the... To be fair, Limahl hasn't. He's still got it on, but it could easily be his going out shirt as well. I don't think, people would know.
I might rock this.
Do you know what? Can I take this after? I need an outfit for tonight, so I might just...
All bought and paid for on DR Sports.
Why aren't you two wearing yours? Like,
I was supposed to wear it, but I didn't have time.
And also, I did my dressing up
didn't have
yesterday.
time.
It's poor form.
No, I did my dressing up yesterday, and the producer, Jason, poured fake blood all over my fresh white new T-shirt, so he's getting me a new one.
I saw that.
Yep, no, that's happening for sure. But scary sights in football. Now, we could be talking about Ronaldo wearing the first Mercurials, the fat Ronaldo that is. Or we could talk about, Henry with his socks pulled up with the gloves on in the O2 kit. So let us know in the comments. Get them in now, and we'll read them out throughout the show. Any suggestions?
I
there,
see what
James?
you're saying, kind of...
Beckham in Predator boots, the Manias in 2002.
Emerson
That's
Royale's
That was
first touch.
That was terrifying.
Spooky.
Shots fired. Spooky. Ooh.
I've got one for you. When you're the team playing City after they've just lost a game. You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
scary sight.
That's when you're
So
like,
that would have been Leicester today.
you know, you're gonna hit. You're gonna be hit for 5.
I'll give you the scariest sight.
Go on,
Actually,
let's have it.
there was a goalkeeper. I can't remember exactly which one, but there's an infamous picture of where there's a free kick there, and there's David Beckham, Ronaldinho,
Yes.
Pirlo, and I think Seedorf as well, someone.
Oh, that's
But I was
nice.
just
And
like,
Juninho.
and no, was
The-
it Juninho? No, it was AC Milan. It was AC Milan,
Oh,
and I remember
AC
it was
still,
just
yeah.
like
Seedorf maybe
arguably
standing
the
over
4
it as well.
deadliest free
Yeah.
kick takers in the world.
Yeah.
And if you're the keeper there or you're the
Yeah.
wall, you're just thinking, what am I here for?
Yeah.
Like, what am I actually here
sit
for?
down. Honestly,
Yeah.
That for
sit down.
me, I
Give it
think
your best.
whenever I see that picture, I'm like, that's a scary sight.
For
Because
me
it's
as
a
well.
dead ball as well. This ain't, I'm not asking you tiki-taka. That
ball.
moment there.
I like that one. We can go with free kicks.
That's a really
I
good
think
one.
if I was in the wall and I saw someone like Didi Hamann tap the ball and with Jonani Risa running at it full speed, that
Yeah.
can be scary. Ask Alan Smith. Broke
Yeah.
his leg
Yeah.
via
can't
a
lie to you.
Risa free kick.
From 2012 to 2018, if I heard Champions League music and I saw noodle hair,
Ronaldo.
spooky.
Scary sight.
I
Who
as
got,
a
who got manhandled by Haaland last week? Did he barge out the way for his goal?
Brighton, I think it was Lewis Dunk, was it?
Yeah.
That's a scary sight.
He definitely he's scared when he sees
And he's a big
Haaland.
guy, Lewis
Yeah,
Dunk,
he
as
sees
well.
him
He
in
just
his
went-
Seeing
nightmares.
De Bruyne look up and you know you're the centre back and Haaland's already gone, that's a scary
That's
sight.
that's a scary
I'll
sight.
tell you one. I know you'll enjoy this, but I have to be honest. And this is actually one of the, not for you, but you know, you go into a game semi-excited, but I would actually go worried about these games. Arsenal, Liverpool, wherever it was, home or away, lining up against Salah and Mane,
Yes.
and we had Bellerin and Kolasinac.
Don't forget Bobby Firmino as well. Don't forget him. How dare you, actually?
But we kind of always had a
Scored 10
centre back.
goals against us.
He was immense. Don't get me wrong, but
Still
like, yeah. But there was always a centre back I vaguely trusted in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be Koscielny.
Vermaelen.
Yeah, there's always one I kind of didn't. But I'd watch like Salah and Mane. I'd be like, you lot are gonna have fun today. It was stressful.
A couple
do you
more
know-
scary
do you know
sights
who's
coming
on?
in.
Roberto Carlos. But from the perspective of if you're in the wall.
Yes. Or the ball. That's a scary sight.
Yeah,
That size
yeah.
7 boot
Yeah.
is running at you.
Yeah, feel the.
Feel the ball.
It's
That's not a good
2-0
place to be.
Brighton!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
Ruben
word!
Loftus-Cheek has scored an own goal.
My predictions down the drain.
Wow! Who would have thought it?
What is
Potter
going
in the
on?
mud at his old home.
Still.
No.
No, you're lying.
No.
lying? Am I lying,
There's
Alex?
No, mine's down the toilet.
Big up to everyone getting in your scary sights. Very interesting ones, these. Let's have a look at them. Nasri with the neck warmer. Says
Yeah.
Brian Ladd.
Yeah,
that a scary
that's a
sight?
good one.
Maybe
That,
not.
yeah.
Conte's hair.
Ooh,
Right, mad thing. Okay.
Nah, listen, pre-transplant, I hear it.
There's a
I hear
few
it.
shaky
there's-
hairlines in the
There's
game.
one I
There's-
see
yeah.
him holding the goalpost or something like that. I'm like, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
a few
Hey
shaky.
man, we got to go Turkey.
Got some
real
work
quick.
to do.
Mane's hairline was on his back for like a whole season.
For sure,
It's,
yeah.
It's a mad thing.
Dimitri Johnson, bold Rooney, total 90 boots, United kit with the black chevron on. I would go with the AIG
Chevron,
kit in
yeah.
08.
Ah, yeah.
No, Aeon.
Yeah.
Aeon.
No, AIG,
No,
I'm
skinhead.
saying.
AIG with the
Rooney.
white.
Yeah.
that- yeah.
Skinhead Rooney with the Aeon.
Skinhead with the total 90s. Woo,
That is real
whoosh.
spooky hours.
Patrick Vieira with Vicks Vapor Rub on his shirt. If you're in the tunnel standing next to Big Paddy V and he's got that circle which looked like snot on his shirt, on his jersey, that is a scary sight. Trust me. I haven't experienced it, but 6'3", standing next to him, he's not even looking at you to acknowledge that you're existing. That's a scary sight for me.
Yeah.
We've got some more here. Carragher when he sees Henry.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
I was
Carragher
going to
was
say that.
definitely cooked a few times by a King TT, for sure. Barcelona in a Champions League group with Messi in their team, I suppose. That is a scary sight. Didier Drogba in a cup final in general.
Yeah, he's a joke.
Great record.
Yeah,
Or just against Arsenal. Yeah, he was another. Before it was Salah and Mane, it was him. I'd go Chelsea away. I'd be thinking we're facing Drogba. Oh, at the Emirates, Drogba, unbelievable player.
Suarez when he sees an arm, says Juice World in the
Also,
comments.
I was also thinking that one as well.
Yep. Yeah, with some great ones here. When we get through them all, as the show goes on. Big up to Yeovil, who have taken the lead away at Maidstone. They've just got a new manager. The ex-Forest Green manager has come in to save the Glovers. Can they get back into the
I've just
football
seen a
league?
scary sight come in for you.
Go on.
Arshavin at Anfield.
Yeah, that was horrible, man.
Yeah.
But we still drew the game.
Exactly, yeah. That's what everyone forgets.
It's 4-4, bro.
Were you not the ones that witnessed Baptista as well?
Yeah.
He held
6-3.
4 at Anfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't lie. That was a beasting. I remember when he came Premier League, I was thinking, yeah, he's.
Do you know
he's
what
gonna
as
be-
well,
I don't
though?
think he was even that great for us.
you
I was
know
quite
he
young,
wasn't.
but I don't even remember him being that good.
It sounds crazy, right? If you look at that game and look at his goals, Dudek should have saved them all. Every
think I
single one
watched
of
it
them he
back.
should have saved. And then Gerrard's goal in that game, do you remember that? Oh, my
Yeah.
word. That's actually my favourite ever Gerrard goal. It was a
weird-
consolation, but
It was a weird season because we had a run of games at Anfield because I think it was either that season or the year after. We then met you in the Champions League.
yeah, there was I think we played 3 in a row against each other.
Yeah, we did. We had an FA Cup tie. We had
Yeah.
a couple. I think
It's
was
always
it
a belter
Carling
when we
Cup.
play, mate. It always
Arsenal
is.
Liverpool was back in that.
Slightly underrated
yeah.
as one of the best Premier League fixtures to watch.
It's a great fixture.
Arsenal,
Arsenal.
Liverpool, yeah.
For sure.
Always goals
Yeah.
and entertainment.
Always goals. Big goal for Cadiz in La Liga. They're 1-0 up to Atletico de Madrid. Recently knocked out of the Champions League. Theo Bongonda with
Are
the
they-
goal there for Cadiz.
Are they having a nightmare, Atletico?
I think if you look at some of the individuals that play in that team, they should be definitely qualifying for the Champions League knockout. I mean, João Felix hasn't really got a run of games under his belt. Griezmann pops up with the odd goal here and there as he's now signed full time. But I would say yes, James.
Did you see that that penalty in the 98th?
Yes.
That was incredible.
Unbelievable.
The clearances and everything in that Atletico game. Yeah.
Do you know what? There's always drama with Atleti. And Cholo on the sidelines. A goalie against Hulk, says Juice WRLD. That's a scary sight. He can hit a ball. Absolutely can. Curly hair Ronaldo, says GL Block. Another scary sight in football.
Shaved head Rooney.
This is a good one from South London's finest B. It says AGT. I know this is a topic, but did you see Eto's comments on Henry saying he was nowhere near his level as a player? He actually said, and I quote Eto, he said Anelka was better than Henry. And Henry was good, but he wasn't on my level. This is Samuel Eto'o.
Wait,
saying
Eto'o said that Henry wasn't on his level.
correct.
I do believe that Eto'o was underrated his career.
His ego's massive, though.
But his
isn't it?
ego is, he's doing too much there. Henry, pick a player, big man. Come on. Pick another player. Anyone, please.
I mean, Anelka was a great player, but better than Henry, according
It's
to
not the
Eto'o?
same
The
conversation.
thing is, I think he's maybe looking at it from like wonder kid wise. Anelka was maybe touted to be higher, and then Henry kind of proved himself. But listen, I don't think you can ever
Can't
throw
chat for
shade
the-
at Henry.
Henry,
I think
like, this is what I'm
people
saying.
talk about the finals record and then don't take into account every single one of those finals, what he did leading up to it. He was
Yeah.
arguably the best player in the team, every single team he was at, except maybe that Barcelona team that he was with Eto'o with. And I'm like, if you're judging him off the 2-3 years where he was on the decline in your team, come on, big man, you're better than that. And it's listen, I love Eto'o. I think he's greatest African player. I think definitely one of the most underrated players. But
Better than Salah?
come on, there must be.
Don't say who.
Please.
Oh, no.
say
No,
who.
you
When
can't
we
say
talk about
who.
African goats, don't talk to me about a man who ain't even won AFCON. Put some respect on African goats.
Don't give me that, bro. Don't give me
What?
that.
What? You want to claim
Don't
the
say
crown?
who.
You wanna
Don't
claim
say
the crown
who.
in a
But he said
region
who.
you've never even
Do
been
not say
champion
who.
in? How
Do not
dare
say
you?
who. Do
No,
not
that's
You can't
not
be the US champion and not be US.
Hey,
Charlie in the comments says Gerrard when he sees a wet sign. That's a scary sight for him. Brilliant.
Oh no.
Phil Jones
That took me a
defending,
sec.
says Lewis Donnelly.
that's funny.
Beckham corner in the last minute of a Champions League final. Scary sight. Scary sight when you see a red card, of course. I've seen a few of them in my footballing times, if I'm honest. Who's commissioned this atrocious jersey for Chelsea? Sacking Sodge. Clearly not a fan of the Chelsea jersey today.
On Chelsea, man.
Pure vibes in the chat. Keep it coming, guys, with your scary sights. Prime Maldini or any English ref is a scary sight. Kepa is dodgy, according to Nicholas. Apparently, the Brighton fans already singing "You're getting sacked in the morning" to ex-manager Graham Potter.
Wow.
Rory Delap. Goal for Bournemouth against Tottenham, and it's Kiefer Moore with the goal, and the Cherries are ahead How do
Okay.
you feel? How do you react to that one, my friend?
Did he
After all that
start?
chest a minute ago,
Listen.
how do you feel?
All that chest for what? For who?
Well, you're 1-0 down. How do you feel?
That's fine. It happens.
That's
Especially
fine.
when you got a defence like that, as I said before the game. You saw me massaging my temples. And I'm just going to see how the kind of goal goes in, because we seem to have a lot of the ball but not doing anything with it.
I didn't even realise he started.
I mean, it's not
I
good.
thought it was Solanke leading
It's
the line.
not
Yeah.
good. Can Bournemouth condemn Tottenham to their
Wow.
third defeat in a row?
Wow.
Kiefer Moore, 22 minutes in.
One long
And,
ball, one
it's
ball
not
out
looking
wide.
good.
Davinson Sanchez slip. It's just comical defending all over. It's like super high line caught out, basic errors, and it's the same thing. When you lack quality, when you lack basic human motor skills, this is the kind of goals you concede, and I'm not surprised by it. Well done, Bournemouth.
But you've got
Absolutely.
64% possession, so
This is
Spurs,
what I
when
said.
they see a cup
we've
final.
been having the ball, but doing nothing with it. And when, as I said, your wing-backs are Emerson Royale and Sessegnon, and they're getting up the ball, and every time they've gotten up, there's been a man to block their cross. What can you do?
fair enough.
There you go. Best African player is Drogba,
Spooky
says
sight.
Aegon in the comments.
He's not though.
I
but-
don't think he is.
Yeah, he's not.
No, he's not.
Aegon.
Yeah.
Nice name, bro.
Keep getting the scary sights.
He's a
Scary sight
Targaryen.
expressions
great
right
name.
now, apparently, after that early goal for Bournemouth. Haram football, according to one of our commenters there as well. Spuds in the mud, says Josiah. We got to give it to you whilst it's here, mate. 6'5" animal, Kiefer Moore. Get in Bournemouth, says Alec Johnson. Scary sight when you walk into a room and see Scholes with his daughter's toe in his mouth,
Whoa.
says Easy JT.
That was a lot, and
That
I feel
was a
like
scary
I feel like
sight,
the
actually.
internet just got over that very quickly.
Yeah, that was a scary sight.
It was
bro.
very scary.
You know, like
It's-
when you wish your eyes could unsee stuff.
You can't explain
And
what
why is she
happened in that
filming
picture.
that as well? That's the thing I don't get.
Because it's normal to them. He
Putting
was,
that on the internet is normal.
They don't have no clippers in their yard. They just that's how they
No
do it.
clippers in their yard. You're
Dirty.
funny, bro.
That's nasty.
Dirty. man.
Conte fossil ball. Don Robbie, when he hears the name Sami Nasri, is a scary sight. Sir Alex Ferguson chewing gum in the 90th minute on the
That's so good.
sideline, touching his watch more likely is a scary
I
sight.
can't lie, that was spooky.
That was spooky
That
when
was
that stuff happened.
You knew it was 1-1 and Fergie's going like this to the line-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a
Gerrard
wrap.
in
It's
any
coming.
Carlsberg kit for Liverpool. I know we changed the
Yeah.
standard chartered in 2010, but from 99 to 2010, he was playing in Carlsberg. And
You know what for me is
He's
just
an animal. Yeah, he's
vintage
an animal.
Premier League? It's Liverpool in the Carlsberg Adidas kit,
Yeah.
Arsenal wearing Nike Fly
Reebok.
Emirates.
It was the Reebok kit, that one.
Arsenal Fly Emirates.
We had standard chartered and Adidas, but we
Hold
left.
on, wait. Did you say Arsenal Fly Emirates?
I'm a young fan. I'm like 2007.
Bro, no.
It's
Ar-
02,
Arsenal
man.
JVC
Yeah,
or
of
02.
course.
Ain't 02.
Yeah,
it
but
ain't Arsenal.
I missed most of that. Basically, I became a fan.
James,
I feel like the
that-
decline-
that
I
was
feel
a
like the
reach.
do you know my
wanted-
thing
you
is
wanted
is
to get Arsenal in
I
there.
feel like the decline began with Fly Emirates.
My
The
heroes
new
are
stadium,
Alexander.
the Fly
My heroes are Alexander Hleb and all that.
Oh,
it's gotta be 02.
You suffered, man.
It's Dreamcast,
No, but I
JVC
just-
and
I've
02.
suffered as well. Don't forget.
But do you remember what I'm trying to say? Do you remember there was a period of time where you didn't clubs didn't change sponsors every couple of years or kit manufacturers every few years, and you had I just remember a prolonged period of Liverpool and Adidas, Chelsea and Adidas, Arsenal had Fly Emirates for as long as I can remember. Man United as well. Spurs, you kind of had Puma for a bit.
Puma
and a few
Mansion.
Yeah. Actually.
The mansion was nice for a little bit. I remember.
Yeah, I remember you once changed the kit by just changing the shorts, and then you just went again with Juan de Ramos. Do you know what I mean? It was that for me was, and I was
Juan de
collecting match
We went
attacks
from
cards.
dark blue shorts to all white.
Yeah, and it was
I
here's your
remember.
new kit, and you keep a home shirt for 2 years, and the match attacks, I'd get them the year after. I'd feel robbed because I basically had the same as the year before, but. That for me was vintage Premier
Big
League.
up to John Daly in the chat. Can you give us guys a shout out to Big Jack and Little Jack? They're currently on holiday in Turkey watching you all on the iPad. So big up to you, Big Jack and Little Jack in the
Big
in
up
the
you,
comments. Diego Costa with an eye mask. Scary sight. Arsenal 0-2 iconic. Adebayor when he sees Arsenal fans. Scary sight. Trapped in 10-11 with the gloves on. Oof. Scary sight. The streets will
For
never
who?
forget.
Championship players?
I
QPR.
don't know if he was
Yeah, man.
scary.
Nah, he was good, man. He was good.
He was deep,
Oh, no.
but he wasn't.
little
big
bit.
up to Mitch 1992 with that super chat. Chelsea in the mud says Gilberto Rodriguez. Great name.
Do you know what I will say? Jose Mourinho in that smoker's jacket.
Which one?
The black leather one.
You know the one with the collars.
Yeah,
He only wore it Champions League nights. I feel like he
He
didn't wear it.
wore it for Porto,
Like
didn't he?
Porto mostly.
Was this at
Early
Chelsea?
Chelsea days,
Early.
the Umbro Chelsea days. Man, jet black hair, Jose, spooky.
Mark
Spooky, man.
Goldbridge seeing Phil Jones with pink boots on. I mean, Phil Jones should never wear pink boots ever. Scary sight is, you would be watching World Cup with ITV and G
This
Neville on your screen.
Yes, that's the jacket.
Oh,
Yeah, early noughties, mid noughties.
When you see Jose in that jacket, when he started changing the drip, that's when the ability went downwards, man. Hey, do you know what's one underrated one?
What?
Romelu Lukaku with dreads.
For Everton.
Romelu Lukaku with dreads, period.
For West Brom as
West
well.
Brom. Yo, I don't know what happened. We need to speak on players pre and after certain haircuts. Like Fernando Torres, blonde, demon, spooky sight.
With
Shaved
the collar.
head. Who's scared of the shaved
You're
head,
right,
Torres?
actually. He got a haircut and he
No
wasn't
one was
the same.
scared of that,
No one.
but when he had them blonde locks and Gerrard was just putting them in behind for him.
That vintage Barclays for me.
Well, vintage Barkley.
Do you know what? Let me put one.
My
in
favourite
there.
partnership, actually.
Dimitri Payet standing over a dead ball just outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
especially
what? As a West Ham man, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That
How
was.
many seasons did you get a pie? Was it 2?
I think it's 2, yeah.
Oh my god! I thought a second one when
play.
they were showing the replay.
Right, currently talking about all this scary stuff, it's got me in the mood to watch a bit of the Invincible podcast from yesterday with White Yardie. It's a belter clip. Have a look at this.
That is it. It's exactly that. You know what I mean? What is the point? It's like you ain't going to slate your mate, are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Exactly that. So you're not going to do it.
So Yardie's opinions are not the opinions of
This
AFTV.
referee had a bet on that Arsenal game.
Disclaimer.
He had a
These
bet.
are not the views of
Listen.
AFTV.
He bet it.
RMB.
No, it's my views. It's facts. This guy should not be allowed to referee, not any game at all. You shouldn't even be allowed to play any computer games that have referees. Nothing. You shouldn't. You're not no referee. You're an idiot-ree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, idiot-ree. New name make for you.
In football terms, obviously.
Idiot-ree. No, he's an arsehole.
Oh.
Yeah, me angry. Me frustrated. You see the player hug up Jesus whole game like him love him. Every minute him a hug him up like he's out there catching Pokemon and Jesus is some special Pokemon every minute he's trying to catch. Yeah, you see the man try headbutt the man. You did nothing. You is a coward, an embarrassment.
Whoa.
You shouldn't be allowed to officiate any more Premier, any more football game.
That is it. It's exactly that. You know what I mean? What is the point? It's like you ain't going to slate your mate, are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Exactly that. So you're not going to do it. So why do it?
And that actually is one of the problems with VAR, right? Because it's a referee in the VAR
Yeah.
who knows the referee on the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
All these referees, I remember one time I went up to St George's Park, yeah? Which if people don't know, that's where it's the home of the England setup, the FA setup, right? So that's where England go to train, and they do loads of training courses there for coaching. And, you know, I think a lot of people go there and do their coaching badges and all stuff like that. But also, one of the things that they do at St George's Parks is they have the referees there. They get together, they do training together, you know what I mean? And I was up there one time, right? And all the
Well, there you go. Robbie, White Yardie, Ty, and also lead judges complaining about refereeing decisions. I mean, Arsenal fans do love to moan about referees. Do you agree with their comments there, James, as an Arsenal fan yourself?
Well, do I agree that the standard of officiating in this country is pretty horrendous? Yeah, I do.
I think we can all agree that.
And the thing is, I like to use the word officiating rather than just referees, because referees have a tough job. Don't get me wrong, they should be doing a better job of it, but it is difficult. We like to brag about how fast-paced the Premier League is and how intense it is, how good all the players are. And okay, so the referees have a tough job in that sense, but VAR's there to help them. Some of the stuff they don't look at, I don't get. Then when they do look at it, it's a lottery if they're going to, get the right decision or not. I'm getting to the point where I never used to say like it's ruining the game, because don't get me wrong, sometimes it adds to it, right? The discussion after and everything. But when you actually want to be fair, this whole myth, well, it evens out over a season. That's not fact. That's not science. You know, you're bound to have a little bit of sway here, you know, one way or another. So yeah, I think the standard's horrendous. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I didn't really get the Tottenham disallowed goal in midweek. I know a lot of people tried to explain. I'm just saying it because Fuad's here. I don't think you can look and actually know exactly where the ball is and know exactly where. It was so small that the lines they were using started to look thick. And I was like, guys, this isn't what it was brought in for. Especially when the ball's then gone backwards and taken deflections. Like, is that what the offside rule is there for? I laughed. I found it hilarious. Don't get me wrong. But I want to be consistent from Arsenal's cases to Tottenham's to whoever. I just think generally officiating in the game is really poor.
No, I totally agree with that. Big up to AD2992 in the comments. Big up the Saturday Football Show. Watch it every week. And big up James. Come on, you Gunners.
Thank you.
Speaking of Arsenal, playing at home tomorrow to Nottingham Forest, fresh after beating Liverpool last week. I believe you've been talking about the game on Box to Box, the AFTV lads anyway, and we've got a little clip to play of that as we preview, and we look forward to Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday.
And I think going to Arsenal on Sunday, I think it will be a tough game right outside of that, because your guys' form at home this season has been really good. So, and I'll be honest here, I think a point will feel like a win on Sunday for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you was to get a point, it'd feel like a loss to us, because as you saw from our last couple games, very different to your last couple. Your last couple are giving you some optimism. It's giving you some hope that, you know, you're finding your feet, and you got 4 points out of the last 6. 3 of those coming against the Liverpool side that over the last few years have been right there at the top of the table. Whereas with Arsenal, you look at the Southampton game, a 1-1 draw, and then you look at the PSV away game just the other night. 2-0 loss, obviously a heavily rotated side, but still quite strong. And there's still a few first team Premier League 11 players in there. So we are deflated at the moment, maybe asking some questions about the concerns we may have regarding depth. But in terms of our starting 11 in the Premier League, more often than not, they have turned up. And aside from the Leeds and Southampton games in the Premier League, I think we've deserved to win the vast majority of them.
Well, there you go. Turkish and Forest fan on Box to Box there, previewing the game. Limahl, what have you made of Arsenal this season, and can they overturn their mini blip?
What have you made of Arsenal this season, Limahl?
What have I made of Arsenal this season?
You've got the floor.
See, James is my boy, innit? So I don't like to talk about Arsenal too much. Because, I just don't like to gas them. But no, to be fair, Arsenal have been very good this season. I think they will get through the blip. I think what they lack in terms of as compared to Man City, they don't have the squad depth that Man City does, but I don't think many clubs do. But I do think that Arsenal have a style of play. I think they have a philosophy, and I think now that they have a process, I think that's what will help them, sustain where they are in the league at the moment.
Top 4?
Yeah. I can't. My thing is always when people ask that questions like top 4, whatever. Who is above Arsenal at the moment? I can't really see, other than maybe City, not even Tottenham really. Yeah, at the moment I think definitely top 4. I think top 3 even.
Speaking of scary sights, just before James gets into his preview, Alex in the comments, scary sight seeing Ty in his Arsenal swimming trunks. That would be a scary sight.
See, I ain't seen. Who's seen that?
I don't know. I don't think.
Is that a thing?
I don't think it is. Okay. Maybe they want to see it. I don't know.
Right, all right.
AGT, is that guy a brother to Origi? Says Roxy LA.
Is that me? Oh,
now they've said it. You do look a little bit like
Divock.
That's my king, by the way.
Is that your king?
Divock is my king. Always will be for Liverpool.
Did Tottenham hit
King
the post?
Divock.
Yeah.
Oh,
how are we looking at Bournemouth?
Just hit the post, man. Lovely whipped ball in on the right from, I don't even want to say his name, but yeah, we hit the post.
Ridiculous. Big up to Johan with the super chat. Have you guys noticed that the CL VAR is different from the PL VAR? Their offside view that they show is much clearer than the weird lines they show. Totally agree. In midweek, we saw the Champions League VAR working, where it kind of turns into a computer graphics.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's kind of semi-automatic, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't really complain with that. And the angle that they're showing the lines from, just
But
to
they
me,
didn't
is
use
doesn't
that
make
in the
sense.
first game, did they?
No.
All I think is if you
Weird.
do, like, similar to what they do in the NFL, where once the referee's made a decision on his earpiece, he can just loudspeaker, let the people in the stadium know, because I was at the game and I didn't have a clue what was going on. But then also I think for fans at home, they get a bit of clarity on how the referee has come to this decision, because there's no problem. You're going to make the decision anyway, but just now tell us how you got to this
we don't
decision.
get anything.
And I feel like if a lot of fans just had that kind of bit of visibility or kind of transparency, I feel like we'd be a lot more at ease. Whether we agree with it or not, there's always going to be the controversy of refereeing decisions, I think, as long as the human element is there, no matter what. But I just think referees, if they explain their decisions, it just takes a little bit of the stress away.
Mustafa says Brighton pinging it around like prime Barca at the
Lovely
minute.
to hear.
Love to see that for sure. Spurs trophy cabinet, scary sight, says iGamer.
Mate, that's probably been the most spammed comment. I'm surprised you didn't read that earlier.
No, I let a few of them build
You
up
wanted
and
to
then
build a bit of momentum. I get it.
Let it build up.
I get it.
Keep on getting in your scary sights in football. James, score prediction for tomorrow: Arsenal at home to Forest.
I said 2-0 on the preview, and because we're
Goal for Palace. We'll come back to you, James, but there has been a goal at Selhurst Park, and it's Odsonne Edouard who takes Palace into a 1-0 lead at home to Southampton. Great response to that from Patrick Vieira and the attacking
Look at him
players.
changing his scores.
Limahl obviously predicted a Palace goal at some point.
No, I don't know. Like,
Nah,
it's
it's
easy.
Cards
Yeah.
close to your chest. Love it. Let's get back to your score prediction. You're going for 2-0, did you?
I said 2-0 on the preview because that's what I actually think. But we're quite competitive on the Forever Arsenal podcast. We have this league table of predictions. Lee, who's above me, got the honour of going first. He said 2-0, so I had to switch to 3-1. Okay. I'm expecting tomorrow Arsenal to not blow them away. I'm not expecting some 4 or 5, but I expect us to go and have a degree of control in the performance that we've not actually had in previous games. Southampton, the first half, really, really good, but it's the whole recency bias. Well, people talk about it being a poor performance because the second half wasn't good. It wasn't a good second half. But the first half, there was a lot to like there. And then, of course, PSV was a bit of a disaster. I don't think even if you rotate 3 or 4 players, we've got the depth to even deal with the PSV when they're having such a big European night with the players they've got. So it's an opportunity for Arsenal to bounce back and get a little bit back into their rhythm. Because we've started brilliantly. And, you know, if someone offered us with, 2-3 games to go before the World Cup, beat Forest at home on Sunday and you'll leapfrog City into top place, that's a position that no one really expected us to be in. So, you know, we've got to be excited for it, and it's an opportunity. But Arteta's talked about hitting the reset button, and hopefully they do.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think the score is going to be at the Emirates tomorrow and when Forest come to town. Lee judges when Harry Kane does it again. That is a scary sight.
Yeah, that is very
It's
scary.
when the teeth... It's the teeth for me. It's when they start gritting and he goes,
You love it.
I was actually with Lee in Amsterdam
Oh, yeah?
on Wednesday night. I won't tell you which district of
Interesting.
Amsterdam he was looking at, but
Excuse me?
I saw him in Amsterdam with Cecil, Julian, big up Brennan there as well. But they were checking out the sites. Great to see the firm. Do you know what, Lee, actually, and I love Uncle Judges. We all love Uncle Judges, yeah. But he was on the COP TV vlog, which you can go ahead and watch after this if you haven't already. And as we're kind of filming him and Cecil, this lady goes, "Oh, what are you filming there?" And Lee's straight over in her ear, giving her a little hug. Nice to meet you, kind of thing. So if you want to see that, Lee Judges on the night out, then get over to the COP TV after this and watch the vlog, because it's a
Was it a good
belter
trip,
and you
though?
can't miss it. Amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Couldn't have gone any better. I mean, is there a better away day in Europe than Amsterdam? Tell me.
I've never been to Amsterdam.
I know you agree
know?
with me.
You've never been to
I've
Amsterdam?
never been to Amsterdam.
Oh
I
my
know,
God.
I know.
Born there,
Yeah.
raised there.
This guy loves it there.
Oh,
No, I really want to go. I love
highly
love
recommend it.
trips to Europe.
Nice.
Barcelona,
It is
Madrid,
the best
Paris,
away
but
day.
I want to go.
I'm
I think
putting
it's,
it out there.
it's a good weekend trip, is what I would say. Try and get yourself an Ajax game there as well if you can. Enjoy the vibes. But nice city, man. A lot of stuff to see.
And you
lot
have
of
to try.
scenic routes to go down. And I'll definitely say rent the bike for the weekend.
And when
Don't
you're out
do
there,
this-
you have to definitely try their pancakes.
Yeah. No, he's actually
Sorry,
right.
it's
They,
just
no,
weird
they're actually
to-
known for their
it's
like
quite weird to
pancakes
see
and
that.
desserts.
Yes.
I
it's
will. I
a
wanna
very
go out there.
interesting place.
That's what
for
people
sure.
go there for.
Abid is also correct.
Yes.
In the comments.
Yes, it is.
It's tremendous.
Big up to everyone that was out there with us. Cucurella getting cooked, apparently, says Ben Dover. Why does Potter that he's a defender? What a joke. Well, he's obviously been a left-back, a standout left-back for Brighton last year. AGT in the mud, says CS. Not sure why. Let me know why I'm in the mud.
Well, I don't
Too
know.
hot under there, isn't it, bro?
Bro, I was trying
What
to
did
keep,
you put it on for?
I was trying to keep the poker face, innit, just in case the score went through.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's too much.
Napoli come to Anfield on Tuesday night in the Champions League. Absolutely flying right now in Serie A. They're obviously playing today. They're 4-0 up at home to Sassuolo. Oh my goodness me! There's been a third at the Amex. And guess what? It's not gone to Chelsea. It's
No
a
way
third
you had 3
for
Brighton goals. There's no way. I don't believe.
This is at this point. I'm just
Sure, yeah. We're just happy.
As long as someone's doing worse than me.
Woo!
I
What
hear-
a scoreline. Can you believe it? Chelsea getting absolutely smoked at the Amex.
Good.
Who would have
Do you know why?
thought it?
This-
And
this-
it's Estupinian, the left back.
Can I say this is a nice moment for football. Forget the rivalry and Arsenal, Tottenham fans here. Even a West Ham fan will be loving this. You as a Liverpool fan, we're going to love this for all the Chelsea-related reasons. But this is a nice moment for football because a team like Brighton can do everything right. And yeah, it's a nice goal. A team like Brighton can do everything right. They go and hire a manager, you know, that did well in the Championship in Potter. They bring him to the Premier League. They give him good players. They're smart in the window. Basuma goes, Caicedo steps up, although I think he played a bit last season when he was there. You know, they bring in Cucurella. I hadn't heard of Cucurella before he came to Brighton.
Amazing
What does he go
scouts.
for 62 million a year later? You know, anyone can just click their fingers, pick up these players, blah blah blah, and they're 3-0 up. It's a nice footballing story. This I like
For sure. And the story keeps on going. Trossard on 5 minutes, Loftus-Cheek own goal 14 minutes, and it has now been counted as a Chalobah own goal and not an
Oh my
Estupinian goal.
days.
On the 42nd minute, if we have a look at the goal here, yeah, that's an own goal. That is definitely a clear own goal. Chelsea playing in their third strip for the first time today. It's
Can
kind of
I-
like a beige colour.
I've got something a little controversial to say about these kind of own goals. And trust me, I've seen Arsenal over many years score them. I know they're unlucky. I know, like, he's trying to, clear the ball. But do you ever think sometimes with defenders, if you... This might
Get it
sound
right,
really
Jack.
hard.
Careful
Get it
now.
right, yeah. You're a wizard, Harry.
When you're... sometimes defenders can be quite desperate, right? They just want to stick a leg out in the hope that they're going to, basically divert the danger. But I think sometimes you can actually do more damage if you get like a weak leg to it. You're not quite to it because you're actually only diverting it towards goal. Like really, the only way you're either clearing it out, or if you don't get as good a touch, it's only going more goals.
I think
isn't
it's
it?
easy
Do you know what
to
I
say
mean?
that
It's
with
so
hindsight,
instinctive,
though.
though.
Yeah,
I
with
think-
hindsight, it's the easiest thing to
I mean,
say.
you've got to try.
I think it's so instinctive. I think your body moves before you even have a
Yeah,
chance
you're right.
to-
I'm talking crap.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. But I see so many of them. I'm like, why?
Even defending like this in the box, yeah, is so unnatural.
Yeah.
Just as like people that play football, if you're a defender, like doing this, putting your
Yeah.
hands
I
behind your
think
back.
The one thing as well is if you're a teammate and your teammate is within touching distance of that, and you don't see him put out, like
Yeah.
I know if I'm the centre back,
Oh, you're gonna be
I'm
shouting
screaming
at
in
him.
his
Yeah.
ear.
Oh,
as in,
100%, 'cause
why
Yeah,
don't you
you're
try
right.
and put a foot to that?
No,
So
you're right.
You know you're going to get ripped to shreds.
You
on,
have to make
you
the
know.
attempt, I think. But I think, as you said, body position is everything. In them kind of
Yeah.
positions, I always think they're avoidable. That's the one thing for me. I think people always say, "Oh, he's got it wrong and misread it."
Yeah.
A lot of the times, what's happening, he's probably just got too sucked into, let me get too tight to the man, and you've left the near.
Yeah, I
goal
think
space
that's the
type of thing.
problem. The foot out isn't the problem. I think it's the build-up play
Read your
before that
position.
something went wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's been times, watching Liverpool this season where the players aren't even in the position and they're walking back. And
Yeah.
if they were sprinting back, big slide tackle to try and block the cross, you'd take your hat off. But when they're just walking, it's the
What is
position.
that with
has
Liverpool
just
at the
been
moment?
poor.
Are they-
To be fair, it's disappeared a little bit in the last month
Yeah.
or so, I have to admit. I mean, Napoli was the prime example. Players just ambling back.
I've never seen
No
anything like
intention.
it.
Is it the injuries? Is it what? What do you reckon it is?
Again, things aren't as bad as they were a month ago, and I think
Yeah.
that question I got asked it pretty much every day. What is it? Injuries? Is it form? It's everything. But right now, with Leeds at home tonight, which we will preview a little bit more later on in the show. But that has to be a game where we walk away without any injuries, problems, and a clean sheet. We need to have all of those three tonight. I'm hoping for a big win. We beat them 6-0 last season, so something more of the same. And is there an option for Leeds to sack Jesse Marsch if he loses heavily tonight?
Against Liverpool, I don't think that's a fair assessment.
No wins
analysis.
in 10.
Yeah,
8 losses, 2 defeats.
Is that what it is?
Sorry, 8 losses, 2 draws.
Trying to defend it.
Half time now at the Amex as well, by the way. 3-0 to Brighton.
You see, with this Jesse Marsch one, Leeds fans I don't think are happy, if I'm right. Or was it? Might have been Villa fans. I can't remember. But you got to listen to the fan base. They know their club's best. So I always want to be a little bit careful when I'm kind of passing judgment on their situations. But with Jesse Marsch, I watched them in the Arsenal game. They were good. The week before against Palace, they definitely had their moments. They lost that game, but they had their
2-1.
moments.
Yeah.
They made a very decent start to the season. They turned up against Chelsea and blew them away in a very similar fashion to what Brighton are doing now against Chelsea. So there's clearly something there. And I actually think a lot of their recruitment's been quite good, like Brendan Aronson, Rocker, and who's the other midfielder who's there? Adams. They were good against Arsenal. Yeah, Bamford, they've had their own injury problems, let's not forget. Bamford, I think, has only been coming back the last couple of weeks. Right, so I, from the outside, would be inclined to give him a little bit more time, but appreciate, if Leeds fans don't want that, then they know best. But it's a bit like Brendan Rodgers. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, no one could see him surviving. But the underlying numbers and metrics, you actually just watch Leicester. They weren't playing as badly as some of the results suggested. They drew at home to Palace, but actually the football was quite good. They could have won that game. They lost 6-2 at Tottenham, but they played well back for a lot of that game. They lost 4-2 at the Emirates, but they had their moments at times. And now, they put, I think, a couple 4-0 wins on the board, and today, they didn't exactly get battered by City, did they? So,
yeah, how long can you go playing well and not getting results? I think that's the question.
But you can fall back on performances. I often find that the managers that play good football, for whatever reason, well, because the football's good, it buys them time in a job. And that's why I think certain managers, you see them, they might be gone quite quickly if at least the performances aren't there, or the football, the want and intent to play attacking football. So, yeah, I think I'd give Jesse Marsch a little bit more time, but what do I know?
Leeds fans, let us know in the comments, do you stick with Jesse Marsch, or do you get a new manager in? It's now half-time at Bournemouth as well. Spurs yet to have a shot on target. They did hit the post, but that technically doesn't count as a shot on target these days. Penalty to Newcastle right at the end of the first half. It's one of the only 2 games that are still going before half-time. Brentford 0, Wolves 0 is the other 0-0. But it looks like Newcastle have a penalty through, it looks like a handball, with the defender's arm up in the air. We're going to wait to see who takes it. It will probably be Callum Wilson. Which, if he scores, would only strengthen his arguments to be picked in that England squad. We saw him this week talking his own chances up of going to the World Cup. He said that a few years ago he had a surgery in Qatar whilst they were building the World Cup stadiums, and he said, I'm going to play in there for the World Cup. So who knows? If he gets another goal today, it might just strengthen that argument. But we're waiting to see if he can score
Southgate.
that or not at the minute.
He doesn't move on his decisions.
I know what you mean. It feels like someone's got to do really, really well to change Southgate's mind.
I don't think I think it's more than that.
Or you think it's just he knows who's going?
He knows who's going. I think he's picked his squad, and that's it. That's it. He's not changing his mind. I'll be very surprised if we see an amendment in what he's chosen. In the next couple of weeks.
Wow. I like Callum Wilson a lot, but it's injuries. I know people say you can't blame a player for his injuries. No, sure, you can't, but at the same time, you can't ignore them.
No, you can't.
You need that. I guess for a tournament, it doesn't matter quite as much, but you want him to have that regularity in terms of football, to show that he is someone that can be depended on. But I think even without
that... And it's a goal for Newcastle. The goal does go in, and it is. Callum Wilson.
Good on him. Newcastle, serious push for that top 4. I should get the league table up. But where does that put them in relation to Spurs if all things stay the same?
They were 4th last week after they beat us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were. Not 45 plus 6 minutes, that penalty from Callum Wilson. The best time to score, worst time to concede if you're any team, really. That one will be half-time very shortly, but it is also half-time at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 0. Unbelievable scores here on the Saturday Football Show so far. Big up to Smoky Settings with a super chat who says, Matisse cried real tears on his stream after the third.
I don't blame
Not looking good for Graham Potter right now.
They have a recent history, Chelsea, of taking quite a few batterings on the road. It's the kind of thing you remember Arsenal. If you picked any team out of the Big Six, you say, well, Arsenal will go and can lose 3 or 4 somewhere. But it's been Chelsea in recent years, and Man United. But Chelsea,
Southampton last year.
They've had a few.
West Brom 5-3, I think I remember.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they lost 4-0 to Bournemouth when Higuain was up front.
Yeah, they did.
Had a few of them. It's weird. You mentioned that. Yeah, it's actually really true. Over the last
they've
couple of
taken a few. You know what? Who doesn't have some on-the-spot research? I want to go have a little look at all their previous results, just for you guys.
I think it's the. I don't know whether it's the DNA or I don't know. Some things I felt like just gone missing. That home record, that way you used to feel like Stamford Bridge was almost a fortress. Jose Mourinho built that kind of aura around it. But even, let's be honest, long after Mourinho went, they still had. Stamford Bridge was still like, I mean, we haven't won there, I think, in one game in 20-something years, I think. So a lot of teams do struggle, but I have seen over recent years, as you say, teams go there and be like, you know what, not even give them a game, but batter them as well.
Yeah, batter them, like, we're up for it.
And now I feel like going against these kind of small teams, Brighton, Southampton, West Brom, these are games where they should be put.
These are the teams that will turn you over.
Brentford went and beat them. I've got here 4-1 at Stamford Bridge.
The league is tight.
Yeah.
I think, what was it, before today, it was like, 4 points separating 17th and 9th?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Is that right?
So close.
Yeah, bro.
So close out down there.
Separating what? 17th?
17th and 9th, something like that.
Yeah, but I've said, I think this season,
That's mad.
I think you have the top 6. You have almost like a little mini chasing pack in Newcastle, Brighton, West Ham.
No, West Ham aren't even.
Not West Ham. But the West Ham and Leicester, to be fair, they were.
We won one game.
Years that should have been in there, but I feel like there's always that chasing pack, and then from about 9th onwards, any of those teams can be relegated. Yeah, let's be honest.
Newcastle, it's a big 7 now. I'm telling. I actually think we can start to have that conversation.
Wow. What, Newcastle?
Yeah.
Top 6.
I think
7th.
You're saying that the
7th.
I think it's
7th really isn't a conversation.
I think it's that top 7 will pull away from.
I think 7 is the expectation for Newcastle, in my opinion. I think the way you spent the money you have, you should be ahead of West Ham. You should be ahead of Leicester. You should be ahead of
100%.
In my opinion. So for me, it's more of a surprise than a conversation if Newcastle become a top 4
There's been another goal for Newcastle, and we thought that it was half-time, but no. Callum Wilson had other ideas. 2 goals in this half for him. There was a massive break of play due to an injury to Emi Martinez, who's gone off the goalkeeper for Villa. But now they might be looking at VAR, and it might be disallowed. We'll keep you up to date on that one. It's gone back to 1-0. Doesn't look like it is going to be 2-0. Big up to Big Ash in the comments with a super chat. If Brighton end up beating Chelsea today, who would you credit the win to? Brighton's new manager or Potter, who built that team?
Potter.
Great question.
I said to you before the lineup, I said to you, this is an experimental lineup. I don't know what you're doing, trying all these things. It's how it's going to look on the pitch. And this is what I mean. When you come in as a new manager, I always feel like you should keep it very simplistic, very basic. I feel like he's taken what Tuchel had and he's frozen his wacky ideas on top of that, thinking, let me make it more attacking. And there you go, 3-0.
Unbelievable.
Pass the pad, as they say.
That is right. Whitewash. Big up to Steph Runs, who says, Caicedo, wow, what a player. Yeah. And I agree. Liverpool could really do with him, if I'm honest, in that midfield. So let us know how much he is. Fuad, talk to me, says Yassir.
I'm here. What do you want to hear?
He's here, live and direct. It is officially half-time now. No goal for Newcastle. It stays at 1-0 for half-time. So just to give you that roundup once again before we go to a clip from the Champions League watch-along in the week, which the question was, does Pep need to win the Champions League? We're going to play that shortly.
Yes.
But it's Brentford 0, Wolves 0. I mean, I didn't really expect many goals in this one, but boy... That seems like a boring game.
Who?
Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0, Brighton 3, Chelsea 0, and it stays 1-0 to Newcastle against Aston Villa. Here's that clip. Let us know in the comments if you agree.
What are you talking about?
Well, I told you. I told you we're going to see you soon.
No.
We're going to see you soon in the Europa League.
Have you seen our Champions League table?
We're going to see you soon
Fam,
in
we
the
are at the
Europa
top,
League.
blood.
That's
We
the
are.
final piece of the jigsaw. If you don't win the Champions League this season, I'm sorry. Oh. Serious questions have to be asked of Pep. Do you not agree?
No, but
I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't agree.
You spent all that money, now you bought Haaland. I mean, come on now.
I was going to say, what are the circumstances? Because like I always our best chance to win the Champions League was the year Liverpool won it, 2019, when we got robbed by Tottenham when they scored a handball goal.
Oh yeah,
That was a violation of human rights.
And VAR, no one even knew what it was.
No, but forget about that.
We were getting it all.
Forget about that. That's fine.
That was our best chance. But can we look back? We rightly should have gone through that tie. And so, and then we would have.
Come on.
We would have faced Ajax. I mean, if that Tottenham team can get past Ajax,
but that's
we would have
if
got past
buts
them.
maybes. I'm saying, listen, you've signed Haaland.
Would
you not agree?
He's so important.
He's been seen as the final piece in the jigsaw.
Yeah.
Everybody said City need a striker.
Yeah.
You've gone out, you bought arguably the best striker in the world. He's scoring for fun in the Premier League. If you don't win the Champions League this season, people like me and the rest of us guys are going to be saying, look, come on.
And people like us will be going, well, we just won the Premier League, so
but you've done that, man.
We will take Haaland in 3-4 years. If you don't win the Champions League this year,
We
maybe
will
we
buy
will take
then.
Haaland
We
next
will buy
year.
then. If we don't win it this time,
Wake
we win it
up,
next
guys!
time.
Wake up!
If we don't win it this time, we're winning it next time.
Next year.
Yeah, that's too
Yeah,
late.
you said the same next year.
Yeah.
Last
No,
year.
it's not the
did.
same next year though, is it? Because I appreciate what you're saying. We've just got this striker, arguably one of the best in the world. He's only just joined the club. I appreciate his scoring goals.
No, but you
for
say he's
Premier
only
League.
just joined the club, but he's scoring for fun.
I hear that. But it's a different league. It's a different game. Like, it still takes time to bed in. They took him off already this game. I don't
know,
think
man. I think the fans will start to
I don't
turn.
think serious.
The fans won't start. Maybe some people on Twitter. Maybe some people on Twitter with like the Foden as their thumbnail start to turn.
Yeah.
The City fans aren't for turning on Pep.
No, but listen, I rate Pep highly, yeah. But honestly, I'm going to be looking at that. I'm thinking, listen, you've had several chances now. You bought Haaland.
Grealish.
You got Grealish. You got De Bruyne. I mean, Foden. I mean, the talent is there, man.
I hear it, but
to
listen,
be honest,
I also agree with what Will's saying in that sense, though. Like, we've got so close before. Like, sometimes I know what you're saying. Defend better. Football is football sometimes, and we've got so close. There's no reason we can't do it again. Do I think we should win it this time? Absolutely. But if it's not this, it's the next.
But you can't keep saying that. With
I don't
respect,
think serious questions need to be
because you have to look at it like this.
Look
like
at everyone else.
Every year when you didn't quite get there, you should have been thinking, right, okay, this is why we didn't do it. So next year we're going to do it.
No, do you know where I think
so
serious
now
questions?
I don't expect to see any excuses,
Here's where
right
I
or
think,
wrong.
Here's where I think serious questions need to be asked.
Billions.
So the people that are winning nothing, ask their managers what's going on. Ask United's
No, but
manager
the
what's
amount of money
going
is
on.
spent.
Ask Liverpool's manager what's going on.
No,
if you don't win it, ask
With
your
respect,
guy what's
that's not
going
a
on.
good
Klopp's won the
comparison.
Champions League, though.
Huh?
Klopp's won the Champions League.
Oh yeah,
He's won
facts.
four.
Well, he ain't winning the league though.
He's won the league. He's
So
won
if
the
you
Champions
so
League.
if you don't win,
No, hold on,
when
but
did he
he's
last
won
win the
the
league? When did
Champions
he last win the
League.
league?
He's won it.
Against Tottenham,
That
does it
don't
count?
matter.
Does it count if you win a
Tottenham
Champions League
beat
final
you.
against Tottenham?
Tottenham beat you. Yeah.
We've already explained the bio that happened in that game.
They won the
I don't
Champions
think
League.
City can really be taken seriously like that.
Oh.
In Europe. No, in Europe. Not in the Premier
Okay,
League.
fine.
Until you win that,
Fine.
Yes,
seriously, you cannot
No,
be
I
up
agree,
there
we
with
need to win it.
Madrid,
But I think the
Liverpool,
initial,
and
yes.
people like that. You can't.
But the initial question that you asked was, the serious questions need to be asked of Pep, and the answer to that is
Serious
no.
questions.
I think they do. I think he's a great manager.
Yeah.
I think, listen, he dominates the Premier League. But when it comes to the European stage, for the amount of money that he's spent, he should be doing better.
He's underachieved.
Right, well, let's just wait then. Can we just wait for this one to play out?
This is, how many years now has he been?
Because we're all rushing
how
ahead.
many years now has he been at City? 5?
I think 5, 6.
6.
6 years. 6
When was it,
years,
2016?
spent the most money in European football. We haven't gotten close to winning the Champions League.
We've
And we've got so close.
One goal. We're the final. We're the final.
Robbie now, come
Well, all
on.
right, yeah,
No,
the
but
final.
we got close.
Haven't
We
got
got to the final.
In that final, he messed it up.
No, we did. 2006.
You know the thing is,
2006, bro.
in that
Me
final,
and Robbie went to that game.
yeah, in that final, it's universally recognised that it was Pep who messed it up. With his
No, I'm talking
formation.
about Arsenal when we played
went
Barca.
there.
Yeah, we've been to the
Right,
final.
listen.
But we didn't spend billions.
Yeah,
Here's what I'm saying.
You spent money. That money, Haaland's not been spent to win the league, has he? He's not brought in to win the
No,
league.
of course not.
You win the league.
Well then, some clip that was, by the way. What a debate that is. Is Pep Guardiola a fraud if he does not win the Champions League?
Fraud.
Well,
Wow.
they were discussing it for a while. You've seen both sides of the argument. The City fans obviously fighting their corner. Robbie and Laurie making sure their argument is heard as well. I mean, I tend to lean more towards Robbie and Laurie's argument there. Raul was there as well. Big up to him for the watch along. Ty was there as well. I would say if he leaves City without winning it, it's a massive unticked box.
100%.
Surely it is.
1,000,000%.
It's not rocket science to say that.
Yeah,
is it?
no.
Yeah.
When he came in, they would have said, "Right, win us the Champions League. We've given you all this money." And
There's no reason why they shouldn't have won the Champions League already. Like, they've got the squad depth, they've got the money, they've got the manager, they got the players. We literally just said it. They've got one of the greatest
got it all, really.
midfielders in Premier League history, right? There's actually no reason why they shouldn't have won. They even went to the finals and played against, a team in their league. So it's not like a team we haven't played stacked up against. We know. He just bowled it. So, yeah.
Didn't play a striker in the final as well.
Yeah. Poor.
James?
He went and didn't he drop Rodri for that game?
He did.
To play Gundogan.
He did.
Who was his highest scoring midfielder, but decided to play him in the sixth role.
Yeah. That season, Gundogan was
Sterling hadn't played a single knockout round game. Hadn't started a single knockout round game, but started randomly in the final. Weird little things like that where you kind of think, did Pep overthink it in the situation? I also think with City, they pretty much won everything before Pep came. They won the Premier League. They won the FA Cup. They won the League Cup. So it was a case of you were actually brought in to cement us as this top club, and which he's done. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They are one of the top teams in Europe over the past 5, 6, 7 years, undisputed. But I do think if he does leave without it, there is that kind of question of, you did spend all that money, you did get everybody you wanted. Whenever you wanted a fullback, it was okay. Whenever you wanted a defensive mid, a goalkeeper, a striker, whatever it is, you've always had it on demand. And what leg do you kind of have to stand on? And I do hear that, the Champions League, there is that slice of luck you need with it.
Of course.
I think sometimes a favourable fixture, but City have had all of that as well. You've had the Monaco, you've played Tottenham, where they're saying we had a bit of luck and on goal. Mate, you've had all these easy fixtures and runs. You got beaten by Liverpool at home. Do you see what I'm saying? In a semi-final or quarter-final, was it? So for me, it's a case of you kind of have no leg to stand on. Especially when you've had that kind of, I feel like, you've dominated domestically.
Yeah.
You've done the trebles. You've broken records. There's only one more hurdle left to jump over. And I feel like sometimes City fans do love to take the pressure off a little bit and say, if it comes, it comes. We were in Division 3 once upon a time. Listen,
that can only last for too long before you acclimatise.
Because you look at Chelsea,
these aren't excuses.
Their takeover
now,
happened in 2004. They won the Champions League in 2012. Yeah. That was 8 years later. But even that team who won it in 2012 was the back end of that Terry, Lampard, Drogba,
and
Czech
they should
era.
have won it maybe before that.
Maybe 3 or 4 years when Ballack was still there. I feel like when Essien was
they
still
got to the final, didn't they, in 08? Which would have been
which would have been the prime team, to be fair. But I just feel like this City team, they have to capitalise on Pep's era.
You put the narrative on players as well. Like, look at Ronaldo and Messi, right? We want to call them, like Messi, for instance, you want to call him the greatest player of all time, right? But it was like, until he gets a trophy with his country, it's very hard to say, compare him to the likes of like Pele and Maradona.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with managers. You can't say you're one of the greatest managers of all time, especially with a club, if you haven't done everything there is to do as a manager with that club, especially with the resource that they have.
Goal for Chelsea. We're going to have to come back to this one, but Kai Havertz, has he started off the comeback for Chelsea? 48 minutes, Kai Havertz scores. It's now 3-1. I'm also hearing as well that Mendy has now been subbed on.
Yeah,
Kepa subbed off. Big up to... this is a massive super chat from Godley, 17.99. Wow, thank you so much for that. People need to give it a rest. Champions League is a cup competition. Anything can go for or against you. It's not as simple as the Premier League, which is over 38 games. Pep is already City's greatest manager. Not hard, if I'm honest. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 0. Oh my goodness me. Fuad in the mud. Tottenham absolutely bottling it away to Bournemouth, and it looks like this could well be their third defeat in a row, and it's that man again, Kiefer Moore, with his second of the afternoon, bullying the Tottenham defence. 50 minutes gone, 2-0. Fuad Kadani, how do you feel?
I feel the same as I did after the first goal winning, to be fair. It's just more of the same of what I'm used to. Just incompetent. One ball whipped in, one man beaten for a header. It's just...
What are the 5 stages of grief? You know when you get to acceptance.
Just what stage?
You're there now.
I have been acceptance far before many Spurs fans. Many Spurs fans still are in denial phase. I'm at the acceptance phase. I know what I'm... I said as soon as I saw that lineup, the first 6 names, I kind of knew what kind of afternoon we've been in.
Say that, to be fair.
I know the way we've been playing for this whole year has been... we've been scraping by and getting points. When we lose 2 big fixtures in Whitefield, Newcastle, United, the Champions League, we were very sloppy in a game at home where we could have essentially locked off the group, let's be honest. Now we're contemplating of if we're going in Europa or not. I'm not surprised by this type of performance against Bournemouth at home. And Bournemouth, let's not kid ourselves. They've been low-key on the rise since they sacked Scott Parker.
Yeah, I mean, we beat them last week, but
but it's basic. The ball gets whipped in. A striker should not be winning between 2 man. Look, 2 man. Neither one of them are
It's a great header, though, Fuad. Talk us through the finish.
Why is Kiefer Moore on Emerson Royale? Why is Sanchez not taking the accountability there? Emerson, call for some support. If you're going to be there, at least command. I don't get it.
Not happy, Fuad, at all.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly touch on the Chelsea game, because Brighton, after conceding that goal, could easily have got one back. And Chelsea are so wide open, but credit to Kai Havertz, with the header, but more Conor Gallagher with the ball into the box. I think Conor Gallagher is seen a little bit as a runner. You know, he provides the legs in midfield, whatever, but it's a great cross into the box. You know, we talked about the whipped ball that Madison can deliver.
Gallagher can do that.
De Bruyne, Gallagher has delivered it there.
James can do it.
So he's done well there. But this is such an open game, and I do think. Well, I've not had an eye on it, for the full 49 they've been going, but this sort of the 3-3-4 that I think Chelsea will have deployed, and Matisse will talk about on Talking Tactics. It does feel extremely open, but in for a big second half.
Absolutely. Chelsea really missing Reece James right now as well in defence. And what do you make of dragging your goalkeeper off at half-time? I mean, if you're Kepa, you've been brought into the team due to good form. He's deserved to be there, kept a lot of clean sheets under Potter so far, even though Mendy was really the number 1 before him. But he concedes 3 goals in 45 minutes, and he's off.
You're not going to be happy at all. I think it's a massive statement from the manager. It's one of those things where I feel like when managers make big statements like this, if it works, you're one of the greatest managers, one of the great decisions. It's amazing. If it doesn't, you've just upset a player. You've embarrassed. It's embarrassing as well to get taken off at half time. It's essentially you weren't doing your job. I'm going to put someone on that can, in my opinion.
Are we sure it wasn't?
But maybe he's injured. I don't know.
I think it might. I think it might be an injury.
Okay.
I'm just having a little look through.
Because it seems odd to me that he would just take him off at half time.
I have a feeling it must be injury. That's because what kind of a statement? I know we mean it's a massive statement, but what kind of statement is it? Like, you're at fault for all 3 goals.
It's not, because they were own goals.
Right, well, 2 of them were.
4 goals have been scored, and 3 goals are from Chelsea players. And it's 3-1.
Back on the City debate, just quickly, another 1799 soup chat from Godley. That's 2 now. Thank you to you, mate. Guardiola can't solely be judged on the Champions League. Watch the interview with our owners and they'll tell you why he was brought in. There's no notion that he's brought in to win the Champions League. But I just don't believe
but
that.
it would be nice though, wouldn't it?
Do you want to win it? Godley. I know you're a City fan, clearly, but surely, just admit, it's cool to admit you want it. We're not going to...
man.
But also,
be honest.
We do this in football, and we do this as people who talk about football all the time. Is Guardiola a genius or a fraud? It's like, okay, you can pick one, but when it comes to the Champions League...
He's not a fraud at all.
Exactly, when it comes to the Champions League, the answer is neither. Let's be honest, he's underachieved in the Champions League. Even Klopp's made it to 3 finals, but lost 2 of them. The guy, I think he's made Listen, they absolutely bottled it, and there's no other word, bottled it against Real Madrid. And Man City.
Oh, okay.
And when actually bottled it might be harsh, because the one thing about City is they were actually really, really good all the way up until those kind of last couple minutes of the second
went
leg.
on that run and hit the post, that could have literally been the
So
goal.
actually, I take that back. They didn't bottle it. It was kind of one of those freak things in football. But the point is, they didn't get over that hurdle. They got the decisions really wrong in the final, and they have spent all the money to actually go and win these things. City fans I haven't heard them say it, but they might talk about, they've made money this summer, this summer with the players they've sold and all that. Right, but let's not pretend they're not selling, world-class quality to bring in world-class quality. It's a privileged position to be in. And it will be very disappointing if Guardiola leaves City without having won the Champions League. It is there's no debate around it. It will be incredibly disappointing. Of course it will. But can he still be one of the greatest, not the greatest manager of all time, without winning it at City? I think so, because look at the football
I just don't think so. I just think that
he could be. I'm not saying he is, but I think he could be.
I just think it would be hard for me to say you're the greatest manager of all time.
So who would be? Ferguson, who's won 2 Champions League in 20-something years.
Basically won 3 and 9 though.
I get that, but is the Champions League that much of a determining factor?
Well, actually, to be fair,
you look
though,
at Pep Guardiola and think of the impact he's had, for example, stylistically
on the game,
on the Premier League.
Every
team tries to do tiki-taka out of the back now.
No, of course, definitely he's up the level of Manchester City. Definitely, we can't argue that. He's definitely elevated them to a point, to a standard. It's just there's something about his tactic or play style that just doesn't translate in Champions League finals. Not even the Champions League in general, because he can get there. There's something about that final with Man City. What is it?
It's a mental hurdle.
Goal for Brentford, and the deadlock has finally been broken, and it's Ben Mee who has scored the goal for Brentford at home to Wolves. Massive goal for them. Another super chat from IDK, scary sight, Ty going trick-or-treating in his full Arsenal kit and headphones. Yes, that would be. Goal for Tottenham. Goal for Tottenham.
Ryan Sessegnon.
2-1. Your reaction, Fuad?
Listen,
is the game back on?
There's always a game when Conte's in charge, but 2-1. We'll see how this one goes in. Listen, second half, it's still early. It's 57 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, so plenty of time still to play. I think Bournemouth, we've actually been dominating possession, in my opinion, in the first half. We just haven't been creative enough of it. Getting a goal back, it's one step. Let's see if we can complete it now.
Come on, Bournemouth.
Yeah, can you complete the comeback? Ryan Sessegnon with the goal, a player that you didn't want to see in the start.
Great through ball as well, and a great finish. Nice.
Who played the through ball?
Nice. Basuma picking up the ball in acres of space in the middle, and then I think he just picked out Sessegnon, who just made a run. This is what the wing-backs need to get back to doing. It's not just go out wide and whip a ball. It's also break that final line and get beyond the man as well, because you are a goal threat in Conte's system. You're not just a classical wing-back in that aspect. Look, that is a great run. Actually, no, it's Højbjerg who picked the pass. Højbjerg has been fantastic this season as well.
Why do I feel like we don't see that movement in football as much? I don't know if it's just a Premier League thing the Sane and Sterling with the masters.
Do you know what it is?
The diagonal.
Every wing has become an inverted winger. Everybody picks up the ball and immediately they want to come inside and attack that number 10 area rather than that kind of between the centre-back and the full-back.
Yeah.
Goal for Wolves. Straight away, they've come back and equalised away at Brentford, and it's Ruben Neves with the goal, the captain now of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And it looks like Limahl might have got his predictions wrong, and he is going out tonight, so he definitely doesn't want to eat that chili. But a load of goals flying in all over the Premier League right now. Rangers 3-1 up at home to Aberdeen. And I tell you what, this is a goal fest right now in the Premier League, especially on the Saturday Football Show.
Is it always this good?
It is. No, it's normally better than this, if I'm honest.
Are you kidding? Jason's wheeled me out.
It's one of the best shows. It really is.
Costumes out and all sorts.
No, honestly, it is one of the best.
As
you can see, the budget has no end.
No, this is actually hard.
That's a decent
this is
master.
all right, It might go missing.
If you're going to a Halloween party tonight, let us know. Come pick it up.
Give it a try.
Stick it on, James.
It's messy though. It's going to go all over your hair. It's extra large as well.
Guys?
It's decent.
What is Dyer doing at right wing back?
It's very
nice.
decent.
James looking good in that. We've had a reply again from Godley, who again sends in 17.99. This guy, I want to be friends with him. Definitely a City fan if he's got that much money. He says, do I want to win the UCL? Yes, of course I do. But I judge Pep based on the But do I judge Pep based on the UCL? No, I don't. The era is Man City dominance. I'm enjoying every single minute of it. Football is up and down, so the UCL will come. It's just a matter of time.
You see? And that there, it's just a matter of
But how
time.
long?
What if that time never comes? How do you feel? That's what we're asking.
That's the question we should ask.
Is, if that time doesn't come during Pep's time, who do you trust to... If not Pep, who?
Exactly. Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like,
This is, yes.
And I can't see... I don't know if the board will go all out for any other manager like that. Like, Pep can walk in every summer and say, please, I need one more striker. Please.
More than you believe. More than you believe. One more fullback, please. One more fullback. I know we have no money left, but please.
But I'm not sure Roberto Mancini and Pellegrini could have done the same. I don't think they could have done that. So it's like, if not during Pep's time, who?
It will be a disappointment if he leaves without a Champions League.
And that's the thing. And listen, no, I think what sometimes City fans take it as is, I think the fraud line is going a bit too far.
That's
stupid.
That's,
I think
that's
to
dumb.
say that, and I think that's where the argument becomes a little bit blurred.
Yeah.
No one's saying it even discredits Pep what he's done. The impact he's done, he will always go down as one of the greatest managers of all time. It's just, will it be a little bit of a disappointment?
Winning the Champions League is so difficult. It is so difficult. The Invincibles didn't do it, and actually people forget that there was like a prolonged spell where Arsenal won the league and won an FA Cup, and there's actually a few kind of versions of that team that could have won it. You've then got, as you mentioned, Sir Alex Ferguson only winning 2. Only if he won 2, right? That should be applauded. It is such a difficult thing to do. When you look at Liverpool's history of winning it, that's fairly, you know, that you got 6, haven't you? But kind of look at the way they're spread. It's not like it's 6 in 20 years.
It should have like 10 though. Really, should have beaten Juventus in '85.
Does that not even more prove how difficult it can be?
Yeah, no, it is.
Like Chelsea had to throw everything at it, and the 2 they won were not the 2 best Chelsea sides I saw.
Mate,
they were 2 of the more fraudulent sides I thought.
They got battered in that Bayern final.
I know.
Drogba,
they got battered in every, but well, not every, but the semi-finals
now.
And the final. Yeah, but which team is it that won it? The one you didn't expect necessarily. So
I mean,
it is
Liverpool's
so difficult. I can't judge Pep on it.
Milan Barros.
I feel like that's almost more of a reason to judge him.
Come on.
Because I feel like because it's such a difficult, that's the ultimate test as a manager.
I see what you're saying.
So I feel like that's the come on, you think Pep definitely thinks about it all the time. He would love.
I think
he.
I don't think so.
You don't think he obsesses about it?
You don't think he obsesses over it?
I think Pep is too much of a football nerd. I feel like us as fans and journalists, we obsess about that perfect record. For him, it's like, no, I just want to destroy every team 6-0, and I want to do it playing the most high-pressing, fast-flowing, attacking football. And if I can do that with the players that I have, cool. If not,
but you don't think he wants that title?
I think as long as Pep, I think what that fan said is correct. As long as Pep is reaching finals, semi-finals, and is competing for Premier Leagues, he's like, my job here is successful. As long as we're competing,
I'm not sure.
I think he sees that as success. And no, don't get me wrong. I think
to win the Champions League,
never want to let that slip.
He has to win it in his time at City. I'm sorry, man.
Faktos.
He's got to win it.
Somewhere he can go. He still hasn't hit the pinnacle as a manager.
He hasn't won the Champions League since 20.
Which is mad because
4 out of 5 titles, not the pinnacle.
Thing is, I know.
It's 100 points, not the pinnacle.
It's not because
it's record points, not the pinnacle.
It's
most
not.
Goals scored, most games won in a row, longest unbeaten streak.
If he wins in the Champions League,
see how through that extra
that's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle.
Arsenal fan didn't even clock it.
Well,
if he wins the Champions League, yeah. That's the pinnacle. Because the pinnacle is there's nothing more you could do as a manager of City. There's nothing more you could do. Yeah, there's still one thing he can.
Did you say longest unbeaten run?
Yeah. It went over.
In a season, that's Arsenal. But winning run. They have something.
They have something.
They
I
have
think
something
it's
like 20 games
in a row. Yeah,
I think he is winning in a row. He is winning run.
And look, in a row.
You're rattling off so much stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm not knocking Pep though. I'm a massive Pep stan, yeah, but. I'm just saying, there's something else he needs to do.
My thing is, I used to kill him with this Champions League thing, and I've changed my tune. And the thing is, it's because I feel like sometimes we all play Football Manager. and we all want to be that perfect football manager, and we expect, because Pep is Pep, we're almost measuring him to his own stick. We wouldn't judge that to any other manager.
I'm measuring him against me on Football Manager.
Yeah.
And if I can do it...
If I can do it, so should Pep type of thing.
But
it's not that easy.
It's all right.
It's not that easy.
I might have replayed the final
it's
once
calm
or
though.
twice. No, he
There
does.
you go.
Yeah.
If West Ham
Unbelievable.
beat Real Madrid, This manager mode though.
Let us know in the comments, is Pep a unsuccessful manager if he doesn't win the Champions League during his spell at Man City?
Unsuccessful, no.
Well, maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Underachieved.
Underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Underwhelming.
Underachieved. I honestly, it's mad because it's
I cannot believe we're saying 4 out of 5 titles is underachieved.
It's no, but
But you know what is for me more than all of that, Fuad? It's anyone who watched that 17-18 Man City side. They were unbelievable. Like, it wasn't even just because City have a more passive nature about them now. They were electric. They could beat anyone 4-5-6-0, and they went to every ground wherever they played the same way, which is what makes Liverpool beating them the way they did that season in the Champions League quarterfinals, 3-0 at Anfield, 2-1 at the Etihad. So
5-1
unbelievably
on aggregate.
So unbelievably impressive.
Okay.
Because that City team was unreal. And he still, yes, he spent a lot of money, but he still reinvented players like Fabian Delph into this inverted left back. He still managed to get another level out of players.
I think we've seen better teams than that 2018 team, though.
I don't think we have. Oh no.
I think
in recent memory.
Goal for Newcastle. 2-0 up now as the second half is around halfway through proceedings, but it is Callum Wilson again. 2 goals in the game for him. He could have had a third. It was disallowed by VAR.
He's on fire.
But I tell you what, Newcastle, I mean, they're on fire right now.
Kind of Wilson's
every
on fire.
single week, they seem to be strengthening their argument to finish at least top 6. 56 minutes, 2-0 Callum Wilson.
Money is scary in football. It's
Can I
very
say?
Scary.
Scary sights. Let us know your scary sights in football. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in.
As an Arsenal fan, and obviously we're talking about this purely on a footballing level, but as an Arsenal fan, you don't want Newcastle, on the rise. It makes it even harder to get Champions League football. It's more competition, all that. However, with City and, the 4 out of 5 titles, all that, anyone who can challenge that is a good thing for the Premier League. I don't want them knocking on the top 4 door, but they're looking good, and I think they'll only improve in the coming years.
Arsenal fan rattled by the emergence of Newcastle United there then.
That instant headline.
I
love that.
Proper
tabloid
Yeah, I said, good on Newcastle, but I don't like it. Arsenal fan rattled.
That's how I read it. Absolutely.
Fair play. You're not wrong, actually.
Massive goal that for Newcastle, 2-0 up. It looks like maybe, unless Aston Villa can pull off an amazing comeback, it looks like that one is done and dusted with just over half an hour to go. Paris Saint-Germain are 1-1 at home to Troyes. Carlos Soler. Trois. Is that how you say it? Trois. That's a goal for Carlos Soler on the 24th minute. PSG 1-3. How about that? Hold that. Charlton 1, Ipswich 2 in League One as well.
Chelsea are a mess at the back.
Here's a question from Draft King, who says, what's the ROI, the return of investment, of spending $2 billion for only domestic success? Ooh. It's a good question, though.
What did he say?
He's basically saying, how can you spend $2 billion and not expect to win at least one Champions League?
Because, as we said, the best team doesn't always win the Champions League.
Yep, there you go.
It's based on luck. It's based on the draw. It's based on, do you have players fit? Do you have players suspended? The smallest thing can make the biggest difference in the Champions League. It's a ripple effect.
It is. Manuel saying, if only Klopp had Pep's budget, godlike. He has spent half of what
Give it a rest.
I've not always subscribed to that,
The Liverpool broke.
Goal for Newcastle, and it's Joel Linton. 3-0 now. Newcastle running right here with the villains. And Joel Linton, the big Brazilian striker turned midfielder, has now popped in a 3rd goal for Newcastle. And again, the plaudits are rolling in.
This is scary.
Well, it is the Halloween special on DR Sports. So make sure you keep on sending in your scary sights in football. Big up into your nan, who says, AGT, you're the man. Well, thank you, nan. Or into your nan. I'm not into your nan.
Listen,
Just that's your name.
I'm putting out a public challenge to any Tottenham player out there.
Oh, hello.
If any of you can take a corner and beat the first man, I will donate to any charity of your choice.
How much?
Any
amount?
Any.
Amount?
Any.
$7,000?
Just any.
Your fee for today's show?
I said any.
We'll get it sorted.
Wait, I'm taking from that they can't beat the first man.
Mate, it's been over 2 years since Christian Eriksen left. Nobody has been able to beat the first man on a corner, and nobody has been able to beat the wall on a free kick. Ask Harry Kane what beyond the wall looks like.
He doesn't know.
It'll sound like Cersei Lannister. He doesn't know.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Again, with this 4th super chat of the day for $17.99. I mean, this City fan.
Yo, is this
crazy.
man? Is he
Subscribe to my YouTube as well, please.
Yeah. Get on the Cop TV. We can do a video about City.
Big man, DM me. I'll drop my bank details.
Look how we're all moving
ASAP.
like bad bees in the club, by the way. Just as soon as we see a guy with a bit of dosh.
Oh yeah, I'm a bottle foot.
I can't lie, that's
Table
funny.
foot. If Klopp had won 4 titles in 5 years, you'd be calling him the greatest manager of all time. Give it a rest, boys. Pep is the only manager judged differently because of how much he's elevated and changed football in England.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. That's
There's
true.
there's a lot of nothing's right or wrong here.
No one is doubting Pep's greatness. No
Yes.
one is sitting here saying that Pep
But keep your super chats coming in, though.
hasn't revolutionized the game of football. He's done that, definitely. But man needs to win that Champions League.
The guy, Pep Guardiola, he didn't turn up to Man City. We didn't know what he was all about. We saw the Barcelona team he built. We saw the Bayern Munich team he built. You know, he came to... didn't win the Champions League. But still a very, 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 very good team. And he's been given a lot of money. So the expectation was that it would all come together and it'd be a Champions League at the end of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it remains to be seen. 3-0 Newcastle. Wow, says Oase NUFC GOAT. Big up to everyone getting involved in the comments. Fuad got the hair back to have a clearer view of dead Conte ball.
I saw that. Good comment.
Into your nan.
Good bands there.
How Tottenham looking?
Mandem looking for a sugar daddy.
Honestly,
says plastic
it's
hunter.
just more of the same.
100%.
Penny of the ball. Son
Why not?
almost scored from an accidental cross-come shot. And yeah, since then we've been camped in their half really and truly, but nothing's really breaking through. I do like this new yellow ball that they have debuted this weekend. I will say, the new Nike.
Yeah, it's the winter ball, the Nike ball that comes out every winter.
One goal is all it takes. One goal.
Yeah,
That's it. It's a famous song, isn't it?
What's happened? Tell us.
Harry Kane just went very close of a header there from a surprisingly good Emerson Royale cross.
Oh,
wow.
From a corner, was it?
Good
No,
cross.
just got the ball out wide, decided to come inside. Oh no, it was Ryan Sessegnon floating on the other flank for some reason. Listen, unlucky there.
Whistles
Unlucky
wide.
there.
He's done that a few times, Conte, where he's just
Unlucky there.
switched the wing backs for no reason at all.
Yeah, it didn't. I can't lie to you. Last season when he did that a couple times, it completely backfired every time. Doherty at left wing back, la hawla.
We did mention earlier on in the show that Robbie, James, and
It's 2-2
Expression.
in the Tottenham
It's
game.
2-2. It's a goal for Tottenham. The comeback has been completed, and it's Ben Davis. Ben Davis, the defender for Tottenham.
believe this shit.
Still a while to go
right.
here as
Sessegnon
well.
is playing right wing back at the moment.
Wow, unbelievable
yeah,
result
it's
here
gonna
at Bournemouth. And Tottenham draw level.
One job.
We'll just stay
Mate,
with Fuad until that goal goes in. But it's looking like Conte now has the momentum to go on and win this game.
Does he?
Does he, Fuad? Do you reckon?
Does indeed.
Does he,
This
yeah?
is what Conte does. I'll be honest with you. He one thing I have seen since he has come in, with it being a year he's been here, is we do fight till the end. So as I said at halftime, yeah, I knew it. Come from a corner, whip the ball in. They beat the
Good
first
corner,
man for the
so
first
hang on.
time.
So how much money you donate?
You
so
let
your
me know
fee, your fee
which charity
today
I need to
is
donate
going
to, and I shall. You see what happens though?
the
You beat the
AGT
first man.
charity.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That charity's eating good, baby.
No.
We need to cut the banks.
I'm trying to think
But
of
nah.
an abbreviation for AGT that could be a charity, but it's too slow.
Very good ball though. Back post. Listen, a draw away at Bournemouth. It's not for everyone.
Well, the game hasn't finished yet. You could still win it with 15 minutes to go.
There's plenty of time. You've won it.
A win at Bournemouth would be great. What a result for Tottenham. A draw versus Bournemouth, says IDK. There you go. But as we mentioned there, we did send James, Robbie, and Expressions to the Howl House, I think it's called.
The Howl. Leighton Buzzard.
So we do have a clip for that, and if you want to see a Tottenham fan being absolutely scared to his bones, then make sure you like this video, and until we get a couple more likes, we will play it to you. I want 1,000 likes on the stream. How many do we have right now? Can someone check? Let us know. How many likes have we got right now, so we know how many to ask for in the comments. How many have we got? I didn't see that. We've got 400. Guys, we need to get this to 1,000. And do you know what? I'll even tell you who the Spurs fan is. It's Expressions. And he's absolutely cacking his pants. And I promise you, this 13-second clip is well worth the watch, but I can't play it to you until we get to 1,000 likes, guys. I can see the likes piping up right now. So make sure you get them up to 1,000, and then I will press play on the clip.
I was there, because there's an AFTV version as well. It's gold. It's absolute gold.
Were you actually scared, yeah?
It's a bit of a spoiler.
Actually, no, don't spoil it.
Don't spoil it. Yes, in short, yes. But you'll see. You'll see when you watch them.
Well, listen, guys. Until you get up to 1,000 likes, I cannot. I can't play the video. And it's a belter as well. What a time of the show to play it as well.
Yo.
Just as Tottenham might win the game, we need to play
one
this
challenge
clip.
out there, and all of a sudden, all the corners are going back post. I like this.
Yeah.
More challenges.
I heard they played this stream out on the speakers in Bournemouth, and the players heard it and went, "Wow."
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, we'll take that. How many likes are we on now, Hass? Let me know.
Yeah,
you see why I
We're nearly on 600. Nearly on 600.
600. See,
let's go. Rise it.
I always laugh at Spurs and then say, "But I'm not writing them off." Do you see why I always say that? Because
Conte.
They're jamming.
It is Antonio Conte.
Spurs are so jamming.
Under Nuno, game lost. Dare I say under Poch in the last year or two, maybe. I don't. Maybe do turn it around, but Mourinho, game lost. But under Conte, I'm just like, yeah, they'll fight.
Come on, guys, get the likes up. Says iGamer. Hit the like button. Says Top Gear Easy. Big up to the main anonymous for asking 1,000 likes for a 13-second clip. Do one. Well, the time it took you to type out that message, you could have just clicked and then you would have got it sooner. But everyone can get onto the main anonymous. He's the guy that's holding this whole clip. Playing
anonymous, man.
So
Don't be that guy,
into
man.
him. Don't be that guy. Smash them likes.
Just like it, man.
Thank you for tuning in.
Please do it. We're not liking until the goal feed is updated. Can we get the goal feed updated production, please, as soon as possible?
Davis scored, and it was worth
I think it
2
is
goals.
up to date.
Incredible.
I don't think it's behind.
2-0 Bournemouth. Davis
how many likes are we on
2-2.
now, Hass? How many we got?
6.
Goal for Newcastle. It's now 4-0.
Okay, this
And
is
Aston
not-
Villa, after winning 4-0 last week under their new manager, Danks, well, it's not looking good this week. They're 4-0 down, and Newcastle cannot stop scoring goals at the minute. 5 away at Fulham, 4 away at Fulham, 5 at home to Brentford. Now 4 at home to Villa, 2 at Tottenham last week. Newcastle are the form team, and guess who? It's Miguel Almiron who scores the goal.
Yeah, fair
On
enough.
fire. 7th goal of the
Yeah,
season
he is.
for the Peruvian now. Unbelievable return considering his numbers before this season. How many likes do we have? If you guys want to see Expressions absolutely shit himself in the haunted house, all you have to do is press like, and as soon as we get to 1,000, I will give it to you. Seriously, it's that easy. How many are we on now, Hass? Let me know. What we got? Stevie G feeling a little bit better now, says Shola.
Yeah.
He's Paraguayan. I do apologise. He is Paraguayan, is Miguel Almiron. He's also better than Grealish, according to Plastic Hunter. I knew it was a P country, but apparently the goal was crazy. We're on 650, guys. We still need a whole lot of likes before we play it, and I want you to see it.
Predictions thing work? Is it?
Just check my scores. Yeah,
how do you do it? Is it predicting the winner?
So you get a point for the correct result. So
Right.
if you said Newcastle to win 2-0, but it was 4-0, you would get 1 point because you've guessed that the team
okay.
They're gonna win.
win.
Right.
1.
Okay.
Or you get 2 points if you get the score bang on.
Brighton,
So,
by the way, have
there
been
you go.
so calm. Like, Chelsea get that early goal in the second half, and you're thinking, all right, this could be 45 minutes of Chelsea trying to claw something back. But they've been incredibly composed, kept playing their football. Yeah, life's good down at the Amex right now.
Bring up to Mr. A, says, update the goal feed. We moved from Sky Sports And BT Sports, we want to support DR, but we need in-game updates. I'm pretty sure all these scores are up to date, guys. I mean, obviously the Newcastle one's just gone in. I know, we've got that on the screen. Stop complaining, right? We've got it all updated for you, so just enjoy it.
Click that like button.
670 likes, according to Clement now. There is over 2,000 of you watching, so it's madness how we can't get to 1,000 likes. All you have to do is press like, and I'll give you the video. 700 now. Let's keep going. We've doubled that in about 2 minutes. It was 350, 400. So let's get to 1,000, and I promise you, as soon as we do, I'm going to give you that clip. What's going on at
Brighton
Tottenham?
were in, man. Sorry, they should have scored.
Hey, in 2 seconds, we nearly just went from 700 to 750.
Woo! Can I just say,
Scary
we're going to
numbers.
have 15 minutes of Fuad going, just sort of like, waiting for
Random
that goal.
noises.
It's going to be constant Tottenham pressure. We'll just hear a load
That's
of...
all it's been, pretty much. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, just get this goal in.
Just over 10 minutes to go now in the Premier League. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Palace still slim lead. They lead against Southampton 1-0. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2. Brighton still 3-1 up against Chelsea. That second half fight back started well, but hasn't really continued. And Newcastle now 4-0 up at home to Aston Villa. The team to watch now in the Premier League for me. Norwich 3, Stoke City 0 in the Championship. Norwich looking to get straight back up. Sheffield Wednesday 4, Burton Albion 1 in League 1. And Sheffield Wednesday 4. Oh, sorry, that was the same game. So, how many likes are we on now? How many have we got, guys?
Nearly 800.
Nearly 800. We're almost there, guys. One last push. You're a wizard, James, says into your nan.
Thank you.
Big up. Absolutely unreal goal by Almiron, player of the month for sure.
Was it an unreal... Because his catalogue of goals so far, they're all incredibly
I
impressive.
can't lie, the one he scored against us last week was nice.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive goal.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Bullied Sessegnon and then just cooked Langley. I said, hey, what's
This
this?
promo is quite tasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
They've just
I
done a
enjoyed
whole
that.
promo.
Just around Aubameyang and Arteta. there.
Yeah, it's Aubameyang.
It was tasty, that, you know.
Basically saying I'm back,
That's,
and it's every Arsenal player shushing. It's Arteta going, listen. You know, sometimes they film things and they'll edit it a certain way, but if they've told the clubs this is how we're going to promote it and they've all enjoyed it, fair play to them.
I don't think so.
You reckon
I
they
think
was in
they've
the
just done.
studio
They've
together?
just done
I
a
reckon
bunch
they went,
of
"We want this."
preempted clips,
Chop it
Yeah.
up.
and then just new in plan for the season. Oh, they
Yeah.
might play each other.
Yeah.
Let's get him to say, "I'm back."
But does he have to say it, though? You know, like the producers go, oh, go on, if you say it, you could just be like, no, I don't want
No,
to.
you don't have to, but I think Oba knows as well.
He
No,
knows
but
how
saying
to play
I'm
the
back
game.
is very generic, isn't it? Like I'm back in the Premier League, right?
Yeah,
But when
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
I'm back,
Look,
then you got Arteta
If they
giving it
gave
the
him-
old this. You got the Arsenal player shushing. That yeah.
they gave him a fat stack to do that. He's looking in the camera saying, "I'm back." That's what just happened.
It would be standard media duties, man. They will have. I know they'll have.
But that's
just,
banner though.
That's good.
that
Like,
is
listen,
good, that is
add
good.
that adds an element. You guys will talk about next week, I'm sure, on the show. But that adds a flavour to this game next
for
week.
sure.
For sure.
Is that the Emirates, is it? Or
Is that Stamford Bridge?
Oof. What kind of atmosphere do you think Aubameyang will get when he comes back later on in the season?
A mixed one, I think. Yeah.
Will you be booing?
No, I won't be booing, but I won't be applauding.
Or will you just spit?
If
You won't be applauding.
no,
Captain, leader, legend.
is he?
Was he?
Was he not?
I think he was a very, very good goal scorer for us, if not a great goal scorer for us for quite a few years.
Was
but-
he not the best goal scorer since Robin van Persie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alexis
probably.
Sanchez?
Scored in.
I was waiting to see if someone mentioned him.
No, but I think he
they
was a better
saw him
goal
more as a-
scorer than
Yeah, I think he
Alexis
was more of a
Sanchez.
wide
Yeah,
man.
it was a
And
better
they had
goal
Giroud at that time as well, who they expected to score. But
Is he
I don't know, man.
Is he a legend?
I don't
No,
like, I don't like the
no,
way
guys, no, he's not a legend.
He's not a
Listen,
legend, is he? Yeah.
when he left, we gave him a real big send off on AFTV because obviously we didn't know the details of what happened. But I've always really liked him as a character as well as a player. His form dropped off. He won us the FA Cup, and he won us in that
Yeah, he
final.
did,
Let's
he did.
be honest. He's got his penalty and then his goal, and there's a lot of love for him. But obviously something happened behind the scenes, and Arsenal are going in a better direction now. I wished him all the best at Barcelona. At Chelsea, I don't want it to go well. So he'll come back and I'll just sort of sit there quietly. I won't be...
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't need to applaud a Chelsea player coming back. I'll just... Cool, whatever, you know. I like him, but I don't have any love for Chelsea.
Arsenal
players.
fans still bitter about the transfer of Aubameyang to Chelsea. That's the headline.
I was waiting for the headline.
That's how my brain works. Yeah,
You're the worst.
sensationalised.
Arsenal fans in the comments. I'd be interested.
So
in your take.
so someone best in the world here said you become a Arsenal legend by winning a title or a Champions League. There's levels to this, SMH. So I'm assuming Robin van Persie and Fabregas don't fall under that bracket.
I think there'd be a lot of Arsenal fans that would.
Fabregas
He's probably they're not legends.
But yeah, I do actually agree with that
Van
statement.
Persie and Fabregas, I don't think are Arsenal legends. No.
No? Sanchez, no?
Because what made them legendary?
How many you
really?
got then? You haven't got many.
Two
They
of them went to
carried your
United,
club
one
for
went
2
to
or 3
Chelsea.
years in a time when you were down in the pits, and if they weren't there, you would have been a shamble of yourselves.
But I feel like the
Fabregas single-handedly carried on. Well, let me not say single-handedly, but he was a big factor for about 5 or 6 years after the Vieira Henry days. It was on his back. People can say Nasri, he was inconsistent. Nasri for me
Nasri
didn't
was
hit
inconsistent.
final form till he went City. Yeah. Van Persie was injury hit and miss up until those last 2 years at Arsenal. Let's be honest. So for me, I'm like, to say only because of
interesting.
title and Champions League, I think
It's
It's
not. You
interesting
can't.
'cause-
Sorry, go on, Lamar.
But can you be one of Arsenal's greatest players of all time? Because I believe that Fabregas is one of Arsenal's greatest players of all time, right? But can
now you're stepping into dangerous
No,
territory.
I believe this.
Legend
I'll
I
stand
can
by
hit.
that. I'll stand by. Yeah, but can you and not be a legend?
Wait, so okay, a legend ultimately. It takes if Lionel Messi signed for Arsenal, played one game and walked off, he wouldn't be an Arsenal legend, would he?
Who? No. No,
Like,
look, for me,
it's-
there's brackets.
there's
like
a certain
club
thing you've got to
favourites,
achieve in the
there's
shirt.
Might.
icons and there's legends.
Aidan
Well,
says, calm down.
He
Fuad."
might, innit? Like, let's be
It is
real.
Lionel Messi.
Let's be
What
real.
is it? Let me guess. Is it calm down, Fuad? You're a Spurs fan.
Calm
Something
down,
about
Fuad. Woodgate is a legend at Spurs.
It's just the Woodgate is almost like the go-to.
Did you see Matisse? Did you see? Did you see the history of the
legends,
Tottenham?
yeah.
Tottenham legends. Woodgate is reading it from the textbook. That is
Do you
gold.
wanna-
That is
do you
one of the
wanna
best
see-
intros I've ever seen in my life.
Do you want to see what I tweeted out earlier? Potter ball height.
No, that is
Him reading the fossil football.
that is so good. That is
Can
good.
we get a
irony,
screenshot of
eh?
that up, please?
That is good. Send that to production. I
We
love
can
it.
go to Fuad's Twitter and get a picture up of Matisse right now.
But
Please,
sorry,
can we do that?
Can we just? Yeah, I don't think Fabregas and Van Persie are Arsenal legends. They are.
okay.
They may be the bracket below because of how good
I
they
agree
were
with
for a
that.
prolonged period of time. But no, they're not legends. The last legend was.
Thierry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
See, this is the thing.
Yeah.
How far back?
Because what makes you because the thing is, I think we're almost bracketing favourites and all of these guys into a legend bracket. Legends, I feel like, is reserved for the
Aaron Ramsey?
the longevity merchants, the guys who've really
Some will
won
say
big
yes, but
things.
no.
Yeah,
But this who?
Aaron Ramsey, not
hell
for me.
no. Club favourite at best.
Icon because of his goals in the FA Cup finals. They get rewatched for
Yeah.
years to come, sure,
I
but not
also
a
think
legend.
it's
for me.
dependent on the club.
But
because
here's
Arsenal have higher expectations as a club, their legends
I
have
agree.
to have won something. Whereas a West Ham legend is a different bracket.
Who said Mark Noble and them man just appear.
He's a West Ham legend, but like
course,
what,
Mark-
we
Mark
haven't won
Noble is a
anything
West
like
Ham
that.
legend.
We haven't won anything like that.
But
But
you've
it's
still
like
got
that.
legends.
The expectation's not on us. But for you, it's like Fabregas can't be a legend for Arsenal because what did we win with him like that?
And do you know what I need to start seeing as well? You know,
Ozil though?
But then you can say
right,
Torres.
Where does
Legend.
Ozil fall?
Didn't win
I'm
anything.
curious to hear this
He's-
one.
well, he's
But
not.
that's
He's
an
not a
argument
legend.
for
but-
Liverpool fans.
Is
he a
Do
favourite
you think Torres is a
icon?
legend for Liverpool?
Yeah, I would say he is. Yeah,
Sorry, who's a legend? Sorry.
Fernando Torres.
even though
No.
he didn't win anything at Liverpool.
Favourite.
Okay. I can't
Club
speak
favourite.
for your club, but that is interesting.
The thing is,
I
I
would
think
say
guys
so.
like him and
There we go.
Suarez.
Here's the picture of Matisse reading the Fossil
Fantastic.
book with Conte's face on,
That is so
with a
good.
strange
that.
face himself, actually. but
Funny
this
that.
is the
No,
two
because
that Fuad has
he
just
just
got.
had an
I kept
exchange
that one in
with
the
KG.
tuck. I screenshotted it. I said, I'm gonna spin the block on this one. You can joke on my club and get away with it. No. Coming.
Not having it. Big up to Matisse. His team are still 3-1 down. Big up to Wrexham, by the way. 4-0 up at home to Altrincham. That club is going places. isn't it?
James, what
Big
do you
chance.
think?
Yeah.
Big chance to have
James, what do you
Hollywood
think of
club.
No, you go.
NVR says Koscielny and Mertesacker are bigger legends than Aubameyang.
Right, so. This is a point.
Ting.
Koscielny and Mertesacker.
Mad.
So this is a point I wanted to bring up, right?
Get the likes up, people. The show's almost running out. We've got about 15 minutes to go. 850 likes so far. We need another 150. Back to you, James.
There are a lot of players that, the way they've left, when you actually look at the catalogue of Arsenal players who have left, like,
in shady
Fabregas
fashion.
has ended up playing for Chelsea. Van Persie went to United. Sanchez went to United. Koscielny with the whole, he didn't train and then he pulled on the shirt and all that in his announcement. Ozil, the way he's just left. Aubameyang. There are so many players that we have loved over the years, but for whatever reason, it's ended really badly. Of all of them, the one that's got like the biggest place in my heart is Santi Cazorla.
I knew you were going to say him.
Santi Cazorla, this guy was unreal, and he delivered in FA Cup finals, and he went to the Etihad and he played his heart out, and he did it like on bigger stages for me. And I know like we weren't at our best then, but he was a top player, and he was a good player in teams that couldn't have won the title, but at least were in the conversation for large parts of the season. So Cazorla's the only one who's got my heart, more so than some of the others. Koscielny, I'll stand here and say that. I thought his performances were extremely underrated at Arsenal. I thought he was a top player, but too many errors. And then what level did Arsenal get to over that time? With Koscielny. Yeah. Part of some big wins like beating Barcelona and stuff. That was all great, but no, you can't put them as legends. So the closest for me might be Cazorla. But then how many FA Cups did he win? 2 or 3? Mm-hmm. It's tough. I don't think Arsenal could be having debates around legends over the last 15 years.
I think there's one that definitely gets put in those brackets with the Cazorlas, the Nasris, and these cult
I think
heroes.
I know who you're going to say.
And personally, I don't understand it. I purely think it's just a sympathy vote. But Thomas Rosicky.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jack Wilshere.
Oh, hell no.
Listen,
because I love Jack Wilshere.
If I start the Jack Wilshere dialogue, I might not be allowed back on DR Sports for what I say. Honestly,
come on.
Thomas Rosicky was a very good player who's played by injuries.
Let's say Theo Walcott then. Like, what's going on?
If we want over 100 goals for Arsenal, Theo Walcott.
No, Theo Walcott.
He did more than Wilshere.
Theo Walcott for me did his thing for a period of time at Arsenal as well. He was for a period of time at Arsenal, he was doing his thing, and even when he left Arsenal, he showed himself to be Premier League quality.
He's Premier
Jack
League,
Wilshere made an entire career off one game against Barcelona, and
after
that, did a couple of cute passes, but the way he played his style always indicated this guy was going to be injury prone.
Why was Wilshere so rated? Like,
no, because
he was the original. This Hayland hype. He was the birth of it. You look at when social media started to bubble. 2012 era. When was Jack?
This guy's got skill.
To be fair,
I'll never forget someone who spat on a cab driver just because of the team he supports.
These players don't put this
scum.
They don't put these names on themselves. They get given these titles. They get given this hype.
Right. Let me give you the Wilshere thing. Right?
We can't blame Wilshere for that.
Let me give you the Wilshere thing. Do you know what? I bet Tottenham have just scored. They're 3-2 up.
My goodness. Rodrigo Bentancur has just scored the winner for Tottenham away at Bournemouth, and it looks like it's their first win in 3 now, Tottenham. The comeback was possible, and now it is definitely completed in the very, very late dying embers of this game. Fuad, 3-2 to Tottenham.
I mean, what I said about I think in so many games we've seen it against Chelsea, against City, Southampton.
It's another corner.
Yes, is what I'm saying. Sun line up now. And listen, Bentancur for me has been arguably our best player this year. Him and Højbjerg, one or the other. And again,
another goal! We've got another goal!
What happens when you beat the first man on the corner?
So Bentancur, this is a mad couple of minutes in the Premier League. Bentancur scores a header across goal. It wins the game for Tottenham in the 92nd minute. But there's been another goal at the Amex. And who's it gone to, James?
It's Brighton. It's 4-1.
4-1.
Pascal Gross.
Wow.
Who had a very, very good start to the season. Is it the 92nd minute? Is that how late it is?
93rd minute Tottenham score, but Brighton 4-1 up now at home to Chelsea. This has been the absolute nightmare return for Graham Potter, and Pascal Gross, one of his main guys who he managed for a few years, has scored the 4th.
I thought there was a good 5 minutes or so left, but
can't believe it.
That's as late as it gets.
Can't believe it.
Oh, that's frustrating. Bournemouth, he had one job. He had one job. That is painful.
That's encouraging, though, for Tottenham.
Are you buzzing right now?
In terms of a comeback.
To be fair, you hit the nail on the head. It's for me, sometimes it's not the style of play or whatever.
Yeah.
Just the result, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I've said I'm not someone who's an aesthetics merchant. I don't care if we're playing ugly football as long as we get these results. And I think going 2-0 down, at half-time, you're thinking, yo, we really got to buck our ideas. But we started the second half well, got the first goal. And then, as I said, if we haven't had a set-piece take since Christian Eriksen, if you can just simply beat the first man, 2 goals come off the back of that. So it's
well, listen, as soon as you mentioned that crossing charity offer that you made,
mate, I've got some serious money to cough up, boy. What I was going to say as well is, I forgot now. That defence being a shambles. James said something earlier as well.
We're talking about Jack Wilshere.
Yes, no, you was saying how we always, some way, somehow, even though we've got a shit team and a shit lineup, how I was going like this, we'll pull out the result and look, it's happening
James
again.
was proved right. We have 900 likes now, guys. We are approaching the final 5 minutes of the show, and we need 100 more likes to play this clip of Expressions, who now, when we asked you to like this video, it was to mock him, but now Spurs are winning. Yeah. So I don't even know if you want to see this clip still. It's only 30 seconds.
You do, trust me.
You do want to see it. Make sure you like this video. If you haven't liked this video yet, what are you playing at? 907 likes I can see now. Only 93 needed to release the clip. But let's go around the grounds in the Premier League. Brighton 4-1 up now, as we said, to Chelsea. Newcastle 4-0 up at home to Villa. Tottenham now 3-2 up and very likely to win that game. Palace, could this be a massive 3 points for them at home to Southampton? 1-0 there. Brentford 1, Wolves 1 in the Premier League. Don't forget, we've still got Fulham versus Everton at 5:30. And then after that, in the Premier League tonight, Liverpool versus Leeds. Let's talk about that one quickly, just as the full-time whistles go around the grounds in the Premier League. I did a preview for this yesterday. You can go and watch it on the COP TV. And I said, I want to see a big win. I don't want to see just a win now. I'm fed up of these 2-1s, these 1-0s. No, I want to see a big Anfield win, a clean sheet to basically back up what we did against Ajax on Wednesday night. Do you think this is as easy a game as Liverpool could have hoped for, considering who we're playing against and where they are in the table today? Or shouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any easy games in this league anymore. It's so tight. Like I said, the gap between 9th and 17th was 4 points before today. Is a very tight league. And I don't feel that Liverpool have been playing up to the standard that they would have wanted to be playing this season. I think they're getting it back. I think to say that they're going to absolutely destroy Leeds, I think it's a reach. But I think as a Liverpool fan, I don't know, you can disagree with me, but I think you'll want to see encouraging signs. You'll want to see players working a little bit harder. You'll want to see just better finishing from Liverpool. I don't know what game it was, but was it Virgil van Dijk? I think he could have had about 4 goals
at Forest. Yeah,
I know he's not. I know he's not a striker, but it's just finishing chances. He's usually a lot better at header in the ball as well, and he's just hit it straight to the goalkeeper. I think it's getting the confidence, the finishing, and I think it's just the work rate. And then I think Liverpool will be back to their old form.
Darwin Núñez, fan? Starting to come good now? Has a better
goals he's definitely per
minute
in.
ratio than Jesus at the minute?
I don't know about that.
Oh, no, you don't need to not know. I'm telling you, it's a fact.
I just sometimes these stats, it's just, I can't.
You know what it is with Darwin Núñez?
Get the likes up, guys.
I don't rate him, and I don't know why. I don't know, I find him quite clumsy, but, clearly scoring goals. Whenever I say I don't rate him, he doesn't. I don't watch him. I'm not confident he's going to kind of do the right thing or whatever. In that, Firmino and Jota, they just have this control about them. Salah as well. He's very different to them. He's very sporadic, I think, compared to them. But I'm very much judging this off the early days at Liverpool. Yeah. So, and he's actually younger than people. I think 22. we judge him as a 25, 26-year-old. He's actually still very young. So. I'm sure it'll come good.
4 goals in 5 now.
But that's a testament on your calibers of strikers in the past. Like Liverpool always had amazing forwards.
Sure.
So I think it's just there's high expectations because I do think he's a good player and I think he will be better. But I think Liverpool's one of those teams where it's like we want you good now, like right now.
You should get your players back fit. It's a big injury list you have. And
mate, we've had 19 injuries this season.
Yeah.
If I read the list out, we had it on the Hot Topics podcast the other day, but. The list is like basically our full strength 11 versus our B team. If they had a game together, it's like 20 people. It's unreal. Right, the likes are rolling in. How many have we got now, people? Let me know, and then I can play the clip for you. But it's full time apart from 2 games in the Premier League.
15 away
versus Wolves. 92 minutes gone there. And Newcastle 4, Aston Villa 0. We only need 20 more likes. If you're a Spurs fan right now, and you're watching this video, like it. Do it for Spurs, if anything. Leeds to beat Liverpool, says bruh.
We made it, I think.
Have we made it?
Yeah.
Have we done it? Yes, we have done it. Finally. Well done, people. Well done. Well done to you at home. Well done to you. You listened to us. Well done. Right. Here's the clip. Enjoy.
Robbie! Don't leave me, you bossy! Yeah! Hey, Robbie, I can't see that! I can't see!
Unbelievable. Now, if you want to see the rest of that, what time is that dropping on DR Sports House? Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. I thought it was today. I thought it was tonight.
I thought it was tonight. Yeah.
I thought it was tonight. But if it is tomorrow, then you've got a little bit longer to wait. But that is from the Best of Enemies Halloween special. And it is going out tonight. It is tonight. We're just waiting on a time. I think tonight, maybe. I mean, it's not... You can't really tell the presenter that, Has. 50-50. We need... Tonight, I think, maybe 50-50.
At some point.
What is this? What is this instructions you're giving me?
This video
you're
we've
making
been
me lie
teasing
to the people.
for half the episodes.
I know,
might be out tonight.
Has, get it. Do you know what? Get it out now.
I'm just having a little look to see if...
7 p.m. What's the time now? Confirmed. In 2 hours, that is confirmed. In 2 hours, you can watch that full video. I can't wait to watch it.
What a roller coaster.
It's going to be an absolute belter. Make sure you catch that. Cadiz, 2-0 up at home to Atletico.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Cholo, in trouble for his job? Let us know in the comments. And Yeovil typically have conceded in the 96th minute to Maidstone, and that's just typical Yeovil. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching Yeovil. He used to play for them. And someone called Regan Booty, like an actual booty, on the 96th minute. And that just sums it all up, really. Right, it's still not full-time at Brentford, still not full-time at Newcastle. Shall we get into our predictions now, lads? I don't think the scores are going to change.
It better not change.
They better not.
Now you said that.
I'm banking on one of them.
Right, so... right, we'll start off with
You're really
Limahl.
Trusting the honesty.
I am. No changes, Jamal.
No.
Limahl, sorry.
There's no changes.
Let's go with you first then. What did you have for Bournemouth and
that
Tottenham?
name being the score.
No. Yeah, sorry, go on. What was that?
What did you have for Bournemouth, Tottenham?
Bournemouth, Tottenham, I had 3-1 to Tottenham.
So I can give you a point for that.
You can give me a point for that. It's
Brentford Wolves.
My score's all here.
Sorry, what was it?
Put your phone on the table. Just put it on the table.
So I had 3-1 to Tottenham.
Yep, 1 point there.
What was it? Brentford Wolves you wanted?
Yep.
I had 1-0
to
Brentford. What was the score?
Can't really. There's a VAR review late on at Brentford, guys.
No, don't do this.
Could this be?
Don't do this.
No way.
Come on, Brentford. If it is
No. Stop
Waiting
it.
to hear what's happening
can
here
they do
at
that
Brentford.
though? The game's ended.
No, it hasn't.
No,
the game is not ended.
Oh, it's
bro.
not ended.
No.
And by the way, yes, they can because they did it in the Brighton Man United game a couple of years ago.
Way.
So
I didn't know they could do
VAR,
that.
you could go to bed, your day's over, and VAR can come.
That's
and ruin it.
insane.
Literally.
Come back like an old.
We'll let you know as soon as possible what's happening in the VAR review. But you went for a Brentford 1-0 win. Crystal Palace, Southampton.
Crystal Palace, Southampton. I had 3-0 Crystal Palace.
So that's 2 points so far. I can give you.
What we doing? Okay, Fulham, Everton.
No, we're not doing that one because.
Oh, sorry,
that's
yeah,
a 5:30.
Yeah, that's a 5:30. Which one? What's left?
You got Bournemouth. Brighton, Chelsea.
Brighton, Chelsea. I had Brighton to win 2-1.
2-1. Seriously. So you've gone for. Hang on. No.
On my life.
What did you go for the Newcastle? Red card to Diego Costa.
Go on, Diego.
Wow, he got that dog in him.
I love that.
And Newcastle was the one I was waiting for, and I need the match to end, yeah, because I had it 4-0.
Oh my days, he's predicted Newcastle to beat Aston Villa.
I had it 4-0.
That is full time now. It is full time at Newcastle. It is 4-0. It's another massive defeat for Villa, and we're still waiting to see the final whistle at Brentford. But so you've gone. Just read out your scores again, please, from top to bottom.
All right. So we had Newcastle, Villa 4-0.
Correct. 2 points on the board.
Right. Bournemouth, Tottenham. I had Bournemouth to win 3-1.
Bournemouth to win 3-1. Can't give you any points there.
Yeah. I did, yeah.
You're looking good for it at some point.
I know, yeah. Brighton, Chelsea. I had Brighton to win 2-1.
I'll give you a point for that. That's 3 so far.
Mad.
Crystal Palace, Southampton. I had Crystal Palace to win 3-0.
1 point. So that's 4 points so far.
And then what was it? Brentford Wolves?
Yep.
1-0.
So I can't give you anything for that as things are at the minute. By the way, Charlton 4, Ipswich 4 in the League One, and George Dobson has scored in the 99th minute. Atletico Madrid also have a goal back. It's Luis Hernandez for Cadiz with the own goal. 85 minutes, still 5 minutes to go. So 4 points for Limahl on his DR Sports debut. That's very respectable.
That is
very respectable.
That is very good.
Very good indeed.
I'll take that.
4 points, James. Can you beat it?
No. I went Newcastle 3, Villa 1.
Give you a point for that.
I went Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 2.
Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 2. I can give you a point for that.
Yeah. I went Brighton 1, Chelsea 2.
Can't give you any for that.
No. I went Palace 1, Southampton 1. I know.
Tight. Can't give you anything for
and
that.
Southampton won the XG battle. So
yeah, it doesn't count on the Saturday football show. And Brentford Wolves?
2-2.
2-2, so I can give you a point. So 3 points.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I went for Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 3. So I can get 1 point for that.
Yeah.
I went Brentford 3, Wolves 1 for some reason. Can't get any for that. I went Brighton 1, Chelsea 2. I went for Brighton, man. Poor from myself. I went for Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1, so I get a point for that. And I also went for Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 1. So 3 points.
So we're level
3 points, 4 points. Fuad, what's your predictions?
Tottenham 2-1 win I had against Bournemouth.
1 point.
Wolves 2-1 win against Brentford.
No points.
Brighton 2-1 win against Chelsea.
Point.
Wow.
Palace 1-1 draw to Southampton.
No points.
Newcastle 3-1 to beat Villa.
3 points.
Wow. So 3-3, 3-4.
So big up to Limahl
Well
on his
done,
debut for winning the predictions.
Build on.
Apparently there's a red card at Brentford as well. That was the Diego Costa red card. So how are we going to do this? There's no losers really, is there? There's no...
You know what? Shake hands and leave.
Just shake hands.
Yeah, well done.
Do you reckon?
Well
Do you
done.
reckon
Yeah,
that?
very.
We need an out-and-out loser.
To see a bit of pain. I'm not
We
gonna
need an
lie.
out-and-out loser. That's how it works.
I feel like there should be. I feel like there should be a little.
No, we need an out-and-out loser for that to
rock,
happen.
paper, scissors type thing.
Just a word on. I hate them with every fibre of my body, but a word on Tottenham. They scored in the last minute the other night. They were playing terribly. They just Højbjerg and Bentancur battering ram stuff, just trying to run into the box. They get that goal, cool, it's disallowed, and another goal in the last minute. Like as an Arsenal fan, that is so frustrating because that's finding a way.
I think
some production notes
so
have just
we've
come
had
in.
a note from Jason, the head producer, who's taken a day off today, but he's watching the show, and he has ordered for us all to do the chili.
Not me.
Sorry?
Boy. Not me.
No,
Do you know what we haven't got?
Can I just say?
Time's finished.
No, you know what? Let's be some real men round here.
What do you mean
Yeah,
some
let's
real man?
go.
I did
We're
agree
gonna
to
do
this.
Let's go, lads.
We're going to do this together.
Come on now.
Put your waters down as well.
No, you're mad.
We're doing this straight, like
Let me
real men.
record this live.
Come on.
I didn't agree to this. Also, why is there
we
such a
just
big
going now?
bag?
We just go cold.
Just straight in.
No base.
And that bag's been sitting
Yeah?
there.
Hello?
Oh, you're doing it. You're fully. How hot are these, by the way? Is this just like a regular chili?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't want to do it. I'm a pussy. I can't do it.
Is it alright?
Yeah, man.
I'm having a,
See a little struggle, but
having a
that
tiny
seems
little-
calm. James, I think you should do it, bro.
shut up. I had a tiny bite. I filled in last minute.
Hiccup straight away.
That's rough.
Come on, James.
Tiny bite. Not doing anymore.
It's not good. Oh, hey.
I'm eating the rest out.
Atletico Madrid have also scored João Felix in the last minute. Away at Cadiz to get a draw.
No, kill me.
Oh my days, that is very hot.
That is the dumbest idea.
Do you need the mask? Is it?
I need the mask. Shut up.
Oh, boy, you lot are going pig, boy.
I had a tiny bit as well. I don't know how.
Oh, man.
Apparently, Coke helps.
Shut up. Who invited you?
You.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You. Right, that was very hot. It's the first time I've actually done a chili on DR Sports.
It's the first thing I've eaten all day.
Baby food, that's
Oh.
light. That's light.
Yeah.
We have
You're
that in
gonna
our,
shit
we have like
yourself.
7 of those in our dinners.
Yeah, well I don't.
You
Well,
lot,
actually,
you lot ever have jalapenos in your pizzas?
no.
Do you have like milk on set or something?
Nourishment.
It's the right side of my tongue. It's not even the left side.
No, it's everywhere. Oh fuck. All stream. I went without saying that word.
Yeah, James is not happy.
Last minute.
You're not happy at all.
My tongue just touched this beer and instantly the foam went like that.
Sorry,
it
what?
had no foam before.
James isn't even wearing a t-shirt right now.
Our
Just-
production think they're funny. No milk.
That is hot on the right side, man. Right, let's wrap
How
this
long
up.
do we have to sit here and suffer?
No, let's wrap it up now. I've been AGT. I'm back again next week to host the Saturday Football Show. I can't wait for it. Massive game. Tottenham versus Liverpool next Sunday as well, by the way.
Big
We'll
one.
have to get a
Big
preview
one.
in, for
Yeah.
sure. Massive shout out to Limahl on his debut. It's the right side of the tongue.
Thanks for having me.
Shout out to you, mate.
Thanks for having me.
You've had a great show today. Well done.
Appreciate it.
James B, also a debutant on the show. Big up to you, bro. Thanks for coming on, as always.
I gave up my Saturday to watch Tottenham win and eat this.
Well, you got paid, so don't complain. We also
Don't be
have
sore, mate.
Fuad on the show today. Big up to you, mate.
Hey. 3-point collectors, all tight. All tight, all the 3-point
And
collectors.
you guys at home have been brilliant today. Thank you for getting the likes up so quickly. Thank you for all your amazing comments.
If I
And
thought I'm
it's been a
enjoying
great
this a
show
little bit.
because of you guys. Make sure on the way out you like the video. Follow Limahl, myself on the COP TV, James, and also Fuad. The links are in the descriptions. You can't go wrong. Until next time, take care. We'll see you soon.
Yeah!